Now let's see what happened. I see nothing. Oh, we are. We're on.
Wrong.
We're on.
Go to live chat instead of just top chat.
Oh yeah. Um,
Hello, everyone. This is a totally impromptu stream.
impromptu live stream. Just said, hey, I'm looking at stuff in the. Want to see what the camera looked like, and I said, you want to go live? And we don't have a thumbnail or anything, but just went live. Just did it for the fun of it. And don't know if anybody will show up with no thumbnail. Hey, Mike N's here. Somebody saw us.
Well,
okay,
Mike
Mike.
got the notification.
How'd you see us? Oh, what's that? Oh, we were about ready to come up here and do a couple of shorts and then leave, but it's actually warmer here tonight. It's 63 degrees in the shop. Pretty nice. So how did you ever see us? Wow.
Yeah, we only been going.
I didn't know anybody could see us.
A minute. Well, thanks for the stove video. Yeah, you wanted to put this. You know what? That video was already recorded a week ago.
That video was done, and we just happened to put it up. Yeah. Kim,
yeah, because I cooked. I cooked last week.
Where's the what course? Who goes in there? Dougster goes in there, and I couldn't read the whole thing because I was across the room. But he was telling me how that carrot has too many carbs in it, and I'm thinking, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did see that. That's all right. He only had one carrot.
I had one carrot.
How you doing tonight, Mike?
You got a notification. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now, Kim, I've got to change the angle of the camera slightly because we're cutting off what I was trying to see.
Well, yeah. Here, do you want me to move the table a little? Or?
I don't know. Let's see how that looks.
Here, scoot yourself over this way. This way.
That way.
Yeah. Over, okay. Keep coming.
Well, I don't want to go too far that way.
You're supposed to be right in the center. You're the host.
She's telling me how I'm supposed to be. Oh, you're really causing a big collapse now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did anybody hear the collapse?
There's no collapse.
I heard a whole thing fall down.
The economy did not collapse based on my...
Big light in my eyes. Collapse does not necessarily mean economy. Okay.
What was that?
You said something about the economy has no, and my trash can got spilled, of course. And then I was looking for my water, which is what started all this, but I have no idea where my water is. That's why I want my water, to mix this in it, because I'm thirsty.
I'll get you a water.
Thank you. And then we got a new thing here.
You are high maintenance.
What are you guys working on tonight? Well, like I said, we're going to do a short, but here's what I really did. See the Studebaker up behind me? It's when somebody gives us a super chat now, I can do this. I can go like that and go super chat, and the Studebaker responds. The Studebaker responds to the super chat. So
he's happy about
it. So we set that up. I'd already made the wiring harness for it a while ago, and we finally got it put up.
A whole bunch of these wires. I'm gonna put these wires.
And then there's
stuff to get them out.
There were scissors here somewhere. Oh, here they are, my little scissors.
Scissors?
I guess scissors. That sounds medical. Scissors. They sound medical if you say scissors, but I bet that's not medical. It's just BS. Oh man. So I don't know what we're doing. The hood of the Dart is open. So I guess, Kim put a, well, we can't see that either now.
What can't you see?
We can't see what's under the hood of the way you've moved everything. We can't see what's under the hood of the Dart. We don't have the second cam set up.
Well, I can do that. And it's never been hooked up on this thing, so we should probably, that'd be a good thing if we're doing testing.
What doing testing? Setting up
the second camera.
Oh, you're gonna do a second camera right now? Yeah, that's really what we're doing tonight is video testing. We just decided to involve everybody.
He likes to.
There's lights.
He likes to live stream.
Hey, my whole.
It's his most favorite.
My whole private area is lit up. What's going on? It's just all lit up like sunlight.
I know. I can't fix it yet.
Okay.
I guess I can go down between your legs.
We have all these lights, and sometimes one of them comes on that I don't expect. I got 6 people in here. Bruce Colchin's here. I started my Bronco 2 with a 2.8 Cologne engine, and it made so much smoke The fire department showed up.
Really? When? Did you do that today?
Did you just do that? Dougster, I was just watching you. In fact, before we came up the shop, I had to
I
shut.
made him turn it off so we could get
Yeah,
some work done.
we had to come up here. I was watching that big long John Cope video that you're in. You guys are in there eating hot dogs and everything. And then you went to a museum and only got a half hour. Well, that kind of sucks, but at least you got in and saw it, you know.
That was a cool museum. You guys got some great shots for only a half an hour. The fireman laughed at least.
They
What
laughed.
was wrong with it? Why is it smoking so much, Bruce?
Man, many years ago, like 50 years ago, I had a friend that had he had a road toad Valiant, and he put an Oldsmobile 392 Oldsmobile in it. He used to race people with it and street racer, you know. But the night he started that up, it was uncorked and the fire and everything coming out the headers, and the fire department showed up. Oh, Cope, you're here too. Wow. Yeah, well, we were watching that video. No, I was watching that video and putting my shoes on. I had all these layers of clothing.
All right, I'm going down between your legs, babe.
You're going down between my legs. I'm moving. Okay, yeah, we had a light get loose down there. It's very lit up. So anyway, I was watching your video, and I was putting on my layers of clothing and my shoes, and Kim goes, "Come on, let's get going." I paused your video, so I didn't see the whole thing yet. I don't know. You said it was too long. I was only halfway through it, and I didn't want to quit watching it.
I was enjoying it. There was a lot of really good. It was cool.
Oh, this is good, but it is cold. This water is cold.
Let's get outside.
Whoa.
It's in the boat.
Mike Kent's covering his eyes, but he's peeking. Ooh, that's hot. Hot.
Nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening. I scooted back. She's back behind the table rearranging a bunch of lighting. We have a lot.
Gotta have a lot of light or else it gets all grainy. Lighting is really important.
Mike Kent says, "Sir, there's a burn ban in effect."
Man, mine doesn't smoke. It just blows coolant. Blows coolant out of the radiator. Something terrible.
Cope says, "We had a ball. You know, you went walking in there and you didn't have much time. You're gonna make a beeline for that. I'm watching her because I don't want her to trip over some wires over here.
I got you.
Are you gonna go under those?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna make a beeline for the Chrysler turbine car, but instead you got stopped at a Tucker. Probably hadn't seen Tucker before. I saw Tucker years ago at Paris Museum in Reno, but that's the only one I've ever seen. Only one I've ever seen in person. And then you went on to the Chrysler turbine car, which is that's quite a thing.
Here's the other one I want you to test.
Oh, yeah, thermostats to test. Yeah, see, that's a big one, large diameter thermostat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
look at it. I can see the diameter's different. Grab me a measuring device.
Why do I got to do everything here?
Well, you're the one that doesn't believe me that they're different.
I didn't say I didn't believe. I believe.
Okay, well then forget it. We won't measure.
I believe you, so I don't have to do that.
I just put
I'm lazy.
I had this table full of a bunch of crap, and I just put everything away, or most everything, and it was the calipers got put away. Bruce says, "I put in fuel stabilizer a few years ago and forgot about it. Maybe too much fuel stabilizer? I don't know."
Oh, it hasn't run in a long time. That'll make it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Could be maybe not enough fuel stabilizer. If a car doesn't have an engine, doesn't have a catalytic converter, I put 100 octane avgas in it. Because 100 octane avgas will last for years and years and years, and nothing will evaporate out of it. It'll be fine. And it won't leave. It'll evaporate, but the whole stuff will evaporate over a long period of time. Like a carburetor might be empty, but there won't be any residue. So I keep a can of that stuff around. In fact, I got to run out to the airport because our can's getting low. That's there all winter long. I keep my beer and pop on the porch, nice and cold. I unplugged the garage fridge for winter. See, that's how it was when I lived in Ohio. Here, it's probably not quite that cold because like today it was in the 50s. Oh,
John
what is
Cope,
that? The new one?
this is the new old stock item that I got. Do you know what it is, John Cope? John Cope will know what it is
Of course, he'll know what
as
it
soon
is.
as he sees it.
Got a brand new one. How many lights do I use in front of my green screen? Oh,
All of them.
that's all of them.
Every light in the house is on when we're using the green screen. It's a lot of lights.
Our living room was a living room. Then it became kind of a storage area, and then it became a studio. And Kim came here and she kept talking to me about how she wanted to set up a studio and she had all this stuff, and it's all kind of above my head. Yeah, he says 904 non-lockup pump stator. Well, you got another one there that's got another ball in it. He'll know what that one is too.
John says I could just knock the ball out of the other one and it will do the same thing. Is that accurate? There's no other difference to that part of it of the stator shaft assembly
So
thingamajigger? Nah, it doesn't matter. I got a replacement for it. John, I need a 904 torque converter for the non-lockup style input shaft.
wait a minute. What's that for? This one's already together, so I know it's not this one.
It's going to be for that. It'll be a really mild 318, pretty much stock 318, John. Who makes a good one, and do you want to spec it out for me? I know it's going to be expensive.
2-ball, 1-hole is non-lockup. Yeah, we learned that. Kim had 2 of them sitting there, and the good one had a 3rd ball in it. And what's that for? And she decided not to just try it. Go do some research. And you weren't in here that night, so she figured out what it was. So we have that sitting here, but it's a lockup, and it's I don't know. I guess it's for another transmission she has. So she bought a new old stock. Man, I did a video on that. It had what did it? Oh, it had an IBM punch card on it. One of those, the old storage devices, punch cards.
Here it is.
Instead of how they store information today.
It still has the original invoice punch card taped to it.
Yeah,
from Chrysler.
I did a short all about that.
Well, he might not have seen it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I did one. Oh man. Okay, my hands are cold. Oh, I know why, because of the water. Okay, so Kim, what's your plan tonight?
I am getting this television camera hooked up.
Man, talk about an impromptu live. We just
2-ball, 1. Oh man, Mike.
Oh yeah, and John Cope saw this short. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a 1976 318 stock compression. It's got a 4-barrel intake manifold. That's really going to be the only thing. I might do a mild port on the heads, but that's not going to add an appreciable amount of additional horsepower. So like 230 horsepower. And I want it to still be drivable on the street with like 321 gears and I don't know, average height tires. But I want to be able to break the tires loose without, for fun. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fun vehicle. I want to be able to just bust them loose by flooring it. But I don't want it to wind all the way out on the highway. And it's going to be running a 904 transmission. I have a 727, but that's going behind a 360. Wow, old punch card. See, Mike liked it.
See, when I was a kid in the 60s.
John probably wants me to call him. He'd probably rather have me call him than try and spec that out over the phone.
Or over here, yeah. John Cope says 2500 stall.
Yeah, but can you make it stall behind at 2,500 behind a stock? Because I know a lot of times 2,500, you know the difference, but like a lot of places I wouldn't trust. If you say 2,500 stall, they base it on the horsepower of like a stock Chevy 350, and this is not going to be up to that standard. It's only 200 to 250 horsepower. So, uh, yeah, like what size converter does it got to be, and what kind of price range are we talking? Do I need a core exchange, or is it brand new? And how long does it take to get?
What are you putting together now, Kim?
Another engine
You gotta,
combo.
you gotta, we gotta get one of my cars in here.
Okay, okay. But if we have an engine combo sitting on the stand, we'll find something to stick it in,
Yeah, that's fine.
and it'll be fun. People like a car they can get
Well,
in and just smoke the tires.
I bet it'll end up in your truck, in your little truck.
Oh, maybe.
You need a core.
I need a core. I got cores.
What are the
Do
cores?
I need a non-lockup core, huh?
Oh, I thought you wanted a lockup. You want a non-lockup.
No, I want a non-lockup.
That's a guy I used to hang out with. Took out the crappy headliner of his '73 Sebring Plus. We found an IBM punch card. It had rejected from it. You could see where the dashboard install fixture hit the roof.
Oh, oops.
Man, see now those IBM. See, my father was a professor at a university, and he taught printing management and technology. And so sometime in the 60s, late 60s, early 60s maybe, he decided that he needed to learn about computers. So he took a computer course, and they wrote all their stuff to IBM punch cards, and he brought home these punch cards, stacks and stacks and stacks of them. And they were ones that used something for practice at school. And he just gave them to us. So on one side, there's a bunch of stuff, but they had holes punched in. On the other side, he just gave them to us, 3 kids. And we used them to write on and make stuff out of and cut them with scissors. So we had those punch cards everywhere. And then I didn't see any for many, many years. And then Kim bought this, and there's a IBM punch card.
I forgot they existed. It's been so long, and then I see it. It's like, wow, that's cool.
My father one time had, I don't know what project it was, something they did with some students. They had all these, what are the large size file cards? I don't know what size those are. They're like 5x8 or something, or 3x5 are small ones. It's the large size. And he had stuff that was that size, and they printed some kind of forms that were like some kind of a class. So they had thousands and thousands and thousands of these forms, and they gummed the edge of them so they were pads. So he brought them home and gave them to us. We just flipped them upside down. They were paper for us. And I look back on it, and I wonder what that form was for. I just remember that was the side I ignored. It's kind of fun to have a father that was into printing. Just brought home all kinds of stuff. He brought home one time, I may have it around here somewhere. It's a thing about this tall, and it's oil cans. The way they make the oil cans, they printed them in one big tube, and then they sliced them up and put the ends on them. Remember the old oil cans that you put the spout in? It was a big, long oil can tube. Kim, have you seen that around the house anywhere? I bet I still got it somewhere. I saw it within the last year or two.
I didn't hear exactly what you said.
Oh, okay, you weren't paying attention. All right.
I was trying to, but
So
I
yeah,
got three things going on in my head at the same time.
she's thinking. I'm thinking about dumb stuff. She's thinking about real stuff. It wasn't supposed to have a vinyl top, but then it did. Oh yeah, okay. I worked in a place as a camping center where they made trailers, and those trailers they'd come through, and the quality control guy had come through with a marker.
Okay, I need you to trade me places. You get to be over here, and I get to be over there because I gotta. You talk to the chat.
Moving me around.
Yeah.
So
Every day I'm
you interrupted
shuffling.
me. Now I don't know. I was saying something dumb. Oh, anyway, the trailers, these mobile homes, these guys would come around. I'm out of the picture. This final inspector would come around with this marker, like a grease black marker, and he'd find flaws in the mobile home, and he'd put an X, and he goes, everywhere is an X, put a mirror. Man, some of those mobile homes had a lot of mirrors in them, and it's because they cover up all the mistakes. Thanks for all the close friends. Dad worked for a place that built school buses on an automated line in the late 50s. It was all operated by the IBM punch card. The 1940s German government used IBM punch cards also. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking when my dad had those, thinking of what I was doing. You see this? Can you see that?
It gets there, see?
Oh yeah, there's me sitting over in front of the dual cams. Oh, we do have dual cams. She's a video engineer. We're experiencing technical difficulty. No, you know what happened? We came in here to set up some stuff and do some things, and I just wanted to look at it on the screen. And then I said, "You want to go live?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know, I guess." And I went live. So it was like completely impromptu. No. Okay, can we see the Studebaker? Okay, this, and now I'm going to show you our new thing that we put up. So if somebody gives a super chat, you're adjusting. Oh, you moved it. It was perfect. Okay, can you plug in the super chat thing? So if somebody super chats us, you see the Studebaker? Studebaker goes nuts when
I don't
you
think
get a
you can
super
not see it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, turn it off. That was our big thing tonight, was to get that set up. And then
He's proud of himself.
Then I need to get a horn too. Man, I'd like to have about a 1962 or 3 Cadillac horn. Two-dimension stuff. Yeah, okay, so what have we got? We've got...
That is a leaning tower.
Oh, Robert. Here it is. That's what that is.
Yeah, we just got it in the car last night. If you weren't here...
He was here last night. Right at the end, so he probably didn't see it go in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we spent the evening last night. In 2 hours, we finally got it up off the floor and into the car.
It was really cold
It's been
last
months.
night. So the first thing we had to do was we warmed the place up with the wood stove, and then we opened up the big door to push the dart in.
You can scooch this way so you're in
But when we started to push the dart in, it wouldn't go, and we struggled like a half an hour to push the dart inside.
Speaking of, oh wait, oh man,
What happened?
he said the thing.
What's wrong?
He said we need a Nuga horn.
Oh, that thing's way too loud. We got a couple of horns here.
We got one somewhere else.
And we got a few horns around here.
We got one. I don't know.
Dean Stevenson's
I'll
here.
pick one out.
Dean Stevenson, good evening, or good afternoon, or whatever it is there. Man, I think it's colder in New Zealand than it is here.
Yeah.
Right now, it warmed up. It was cold yesterday. Today, it's Right now in the shop, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Why every time I ask John Cope for something, he clams up, goes away?
I don't know. He's not as talkative.
I guess.
He is on his own live.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't
Needs
mean to
more
talk
cowbell.
business.
Yeah, that's what we need.
More
A cowbell.
cowbell.
That's what we need. A string with a cowbell on it. Ding, 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 ding. Or as somebody last night, whoop, whoop, pull up, whoop, whoop, pull up. I don't want to ever hear that. What you doing, Kim? You look like you're getting transmission lines together. Good morning from Dublin, Ireland. 5:33 a.m. Damp yet warm Sunday morning. Yeah, it's a little warmer here. It's like, I don't know. What is it? 50, well, 60 degrees outside. I don't know. 59 something. Well, it'd be 15 C. So that warmed up a lot since yesterday. And right now in here, it's warmer than that. It's 65, 64, 65 Fahrenheit inside the shop. Pretty nice. Yeah, I know the formula. I just don't feel like doing that. Just some stuff I know. It's like 15 degrees C is standard day, because the aviation, 15 C and 29.92. Here we go, inches of mercury. So, but the standard day is 15 C, which I know is 59 degrees Fahrenheit here. It's a whole lot easier when I have a thermometer that has both. I know the important ones anyway. And I know out there in Yuma where I was working out there, it was always between 40 and 50 C. Not always. I mean, in the wintertime, it'd be under 40. And in the summertime, there were times it was over 50 C. 50 C is what, like 122 F? Something like that. I know it was above that sometimes. Hottest day I ever saw out there was 127 Fahrenheit. That was a toasty warm day. We couldn't drink enough water. Yeah, whoop whoop would do that. I'd unfriend him. Yeah, that's the one you test the jip with. Prox box, whatever you want to call it, goes whoop whoop, pull up. Well, you key your mic right then, You look at everybody do an escape maneuver. Don't ever do that. Oh God, that'd be horrible. I don't know what Kim's doing over there. She's doing something.
I'm trying to find the hardware for the alternator.
Oh, for the alternator.
Yeah. Okay. I ended up using it for the engine stand because I needed it.
Dean says I'm doing my wands with a Briggs and Stratton in a few moments. Like the Grim Reaper. Dean, is it unmanned? Is it a drone lawnmower? Stand over there like this, or you could pre-program it. It would keep making passes up and down the lawn.
How did I lose the most important hardware? Stupid.
You lost the most important hardware.
Stunned. Kim, are you stunned?
That's why I organize hardware differently than Kim does.
Ugh.
I put hardware in. I buy too many plastic Ziploc bags. I buy the freezer bags because the storage bags, the hardware punches its way out. Freezer bags are thicker, and then I mark everything. Some of those bags only have 2 bolts or 2 nuts, a couple of washers in them, but I don't care. I know right where everything goes. I've got boxes around there that say Studebaker parts. You open up and it's just full of Ziploc bags. I won't be going through like a claw and a...
Now I'm facing the consequences of my own actions. Because I can't find nothing.
Well, and you know what started my whole thing with the Ziploc bags? Was the Air Force. I mean, when we took an engine apart, that's what we did. Everything was bagged and tagged. And everything went together the way it came apart. And some bolts, nuts, you couldn't use twice. So those went away and you had new ones. Dugster, Briggs and Strangle. Bill Briggs, my dad's favorite saying. You found the fan.
I knew where that was. Yeah.
Mechanical fan. Nothing pulls more air than that. I hate to see when somebody's having heating problems at low speed and they take the mechanical fan off and put a electric fan. Something like a slant 6 powering a fan. That's going to pull some air. Unless it's too far from the radiator. What you doing, Kim?
I'm just collecting parts and stuff.
I'm going to put it on scene too.
I just turned it off.
Oh, yeah, I was going to just give some people some different view, and then you already shut it off. Okay, what is it? Scene 2? The cat. Which is the cat?
No, scene 2.
Oh, there, split screen. Oh, yeah. So now you can see what Kim's got going over there.
Yep.
You got a new carbonator. What you going to do with that carburetor? Was that on there before?
That's the carburetor that was already on the car.
Oh, okay. So that's what got us to No Name Nationals.
Yeah, we just gonna put it back the way it was.
Oh, yeah, that worked really well.
Run it in, and then we can upgrade from there. I want to make sure everything works before we get into too much fancy stuff. You know how that goes.
Tommy Hammond. He says it was 5 sausages, 3 fried eggs, beans, and roast potatoes for dinner last night. I'll let the body deal with that before I top up my sodium. Maybe a poached egg on toast later. Uh-oh, Bruce says he hears 2 voices. Kim, you have a microphone on that other cam?
Yep. Mute it.
How do I do that? Oh, I see it. Cat cam. I just mute the cat cam?
Yeah.
I don't see a mute option. I see a hide, a lock volume. I don't know what to do. You're coming over? Okay, because we definitely have 2 voices. I bet that sounds like a echo.
No, don't click anything. Just click away over on someplace black. Click there. Now, where the little speaker is on the left, right there. Just click that and it will mute it.
Oh, now do you hear 1 voice instead of 2? Hopefully.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, Dean, they're all recording. They're all reporting 2 voices. Now maybe they'll all report 1 voice. Hey, Dugster, you made a comment on one of my videos where we were eating in the shop, and I read part of it, but it was from across the room, so I couldn't focus on it real well. It's something about the carbs and the carrot. Yeah, I know. You notice I had the skinniest piece of carrot that was in there, and I had one. And yeah, I probably shouldn't have eaten that, but I did, and it was good. And the same thing with a little piece of potato.
Can you
And
switch forward?
I don't do it very often. And my A1C is under control, so I did that. Now I'm out of the picture again. Oh, where am I? Where do I belong? Over here. Tim got me all set up. It's mono. No, if you like mono, it's okay with me. Okay, I gotta try to move this cam again. But I'm trying to keep me and the Studebaker in there. Oh, how do I get like that? Maybe like this. I like that Studebaker in there now that the Studebaker has some action. Studebaker has super chat action. Yeah, I need the horn. Definitely need the horn.
Did he say now it's mono? Did he complain?
He says we feel like you belong here, Buff. Hey, I had that short ears up on my screen for quite a while. I just clicked back to it once in a while. I had it frozen with you standing there with your upside down No Name National shirt. Well, it's right side up. It's just upside down for you because you're standing on the bottom of the world. That's pretty good. Yeah, Dean also called it a carbonator. Yeah, we have some of them that are carbonators.
Dean, we have a patent on that word. You owe us a quarter every time you use it.
Oh, reverse points. We have my new Ford product. It has a carbonator on it. We've got to replace that with something that doesn't, or put a kit in it or something, because it dumps fuel where it shouldn't be dumping fuel. KLF. What's KLF? KLF. I don't know. Looks okay for me when I look down. Oh yeah. So Dean says his shirt looks fine when he looks down. So yeah, if we all had upside down shirts, they'd look right for us when we look down.
See? Makes perfect sense.
I need to get some Buffdale Campo shirts and we'll make them upside down so we look down, we look at
Well, you know
right
who
side
to
up.
talk to.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of people make shirts.
Well, Tony's
Hot Rod Garage. I think you and I could probably make them, but
we don't have the space for the stuff.
Dean Stevenson says Carbonator trademark 50 cents.
Okay. Yeah.
See, just gave you 50 cents so he can use it. Is that the license? Paying the license fee?
That's an old joke.
Oh, okay.
You have to use words. Spider-Man.
What happened to the warrant? Oh, I know where it is, on the back of my chair. Copyright Liberation Front. Scottish Stolen Music Band. You know what's wrong with that view, Kim? You put a broom right in front where nobody can see what you're doing.
Jeez.
See everybody. Echo and the Bunny Man and KLF are all bands, Buff. See, and I don't keep up with that stuff. I probably should. Sorry, everyone. Produced by the same guy. You see, Dean, I think Dean's a musician. Dean, what musical instruments do you play? Are you a vocalist, or you play instruments, or you just have a lot of knowledge? a fan of everything. I don't know. Oh, that brings up something. Brenda Cargill. Buffalo broom. Oh, yeah, I was holding the broom in front of my face for a second. Well, if you stepped in, Kim had the broom over there leaning on the car, so you couldn't see what she was doing. I don't think she really had it there for that, but I got it out of the way and then I put it in front of my face. What happened to my trash? Oh, here's my trash. Oh, man. So, my grandson graduated from the university on Friday with a degree in music. There's a guy that's a musician. He's 23 years old. He plays a guitar like you can't believe. Amazing, amazing young man. Scottish musician Bill Drummond, alias King Boy D, and English musician Jimmy Cauty, alias Rockman Rock, began by releasing hip-hop inspired music with the KLF circa 1987. Man, it's been a while, isn't it? Time Lords, Doctor Who. Kim, are you warm enough? I guess you stripped off some of your heavy clothing.
Yeah, I'm warm enough.
You're warm enough because I'm not very warm.
Well, why don't you move this heater over to?
I don't know. You moved the heater, and I don't know what you're doing.
People around.
Okay.
It's not easy to have.
No. If you can move it over near me, it'd be
Try to
better.
have everybody in the same
Okay.
place.
Yeah, this would be good.
Rough.
Well, if you don't want it there, I'll move it. But if it's near me, it's better. See, Tommy Hamlin, you probably never heard of them, Buff. Only older gentlemen of that era would remember them. Ain't that right, Dean Stevenson? Brenda Cargill, tone deaf and musically illiterate. Yeah, that's kind of me. I never, when I was in grade school, or I guess elementary school, they call it now, they had a glee club, and they always wanted me in the glee club. And there was a couple of us that didn't really want to do that, and I couldn't carry a tune. I didn't know why. And they'd have me come in there, and they poke at the piano, and you're supposed to sing with the, just, with the piano. I couldn't do it. I just, and the woman that was playing the piano, she got mad at me. She thought I was just trying to not do well, and I was really trying to do well. And she finally basically threw me out of there. So about 3 or 4 of us, that anytime the glee club was doing their thing, we had to go to a classroom by ourselves, like a little study hall. I was so glad I didn't have to be in there. But it was years, like 30 years later, I figured out what the problem was. And it was when I got out of the Air Force, my right ear had no mid-range. I can hear the really high notes, really low notes with my right ear. My left ear, I can hear everything. So, some people would have been looking for a disability, but I looked at what my records were when I went into the Air Force, and it had the same thing. So I didn't lose that hearing working on jet engines. I never had it. And I always noticed when I was a kid and I held a phone up to my ear, I always hold it up to my left ear. And anytime I wanted to hear something, my father noticed. He goes, you always turn your head this way to hear. But that's likely why I couldn't carry a tune, and why I was basically tone deaf. And when I listen to a sound system in a car, I'll run the balance way off the wrong one direction, and it sounds really good to me. And that's why, because I don't have any mid-range in my right ear. But I didn't know that when I was young. What are you doing with the mouse? What are you doing? She's over here engineering. What are you doing? It's all working, and you're gonna mess with it. Okay, there went. Oh no, I have a microphone. Kim's over here re-engineering the soundboard, and I don't know what she's doing. I think it sounds good, and she's got to mess with it. Go mess with your slant.
It's mono. You know, they don't have any sound in one of the channels.
Oh, so what? Does that microphone even have?
No, but you can just tell it to.
Oh, to put the both on the same?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, I couldn't figure it out. You were telling me to.
Okay, well, you don't tell me what you're doing. You just throw some up on my screen and start picking boxes. I don't know what you're doing.
I was engineering. You just let me go if I do that.
Okay. Let's see here. Turn down bullhorn and my voice. I'm as musical as German bomb blitz. Dean Stevenson. Exactly right. Tommy Helen, I know them too. Discerning music. Dean Stevenson, Ireland invented music. Bob Geldof said so. And the car girl, nitromethane Hemis will cure good hearing. Oh, yeah.
Cure good hearing? Sure, that's not the wrong way of saying that.
I noticed that the first time I did a drag strip, and that one of those went. A couple of those guys went down that strip. You know, I lived really close to a place called Thompson Speedway in Ohio. That was a quarter-mile drag strip, and I used to take my kid out there when he was young, really young. He'd get tired, didn't want to stick around, but they always did the jet dragsters last, and that's what he was there for, to see that. So he'd stick around, and he'd always be happy, and then he wanted to get out of there because it was too late for him. But yeah, when they'd run some of those nitromethane cars, man, he'd have his ears plugged. I'd have my ears plugged. It'd be something. See, Stephen Stills had the same problem. Didn't hurt him much. Gildorf. Squeak pop test. 4,500 hertz usually goes when near 105 millimeter howitzer. You know what I did one time? I was out here in my yard. Got a few more houses around now, so I don't do it anymore. Well, I quit doing it. I had an AK-47, and my son had come over and his wife, and we'd be shooting, and it was a fun thing because we could do that out here. And I reloaded some magazines for the AK, and we were talking and everything. And one round, and I forgot to put my ear defenders on. And it was like, boom! Man, that was a mistake. Ooh, does anybody hear the rain? Yeah, it's raining. And I got a spot here that broke out, and I've been trying to get it cleaned up, and I notice it's showing in the camera. It's not nice. That thing was itching so badly when I was sick, and now I put some kind of medicine on it, get it healed up. Kim's over there looking in the Mopar. What do you call that thing?
Mopar Cabinet of Mystery.
The Mopar Cabinet of Mystery. It used to be the airplane cabinet of mystery, but no more. Oh, I see, Kim. When you get both, Mike, you'll get two stripes, right? If I could have both channels going, I'd see both stripes.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, well then I know how to mess it. Uh-oh, OBS Studio disconnected, reconnecting. Reconnection successful. Ooh, was there a dropout here? Did everybody notice a dropout? we drop out?
Why did you disconnect?
I didn't disconnect.
Okay.
It just did it. Don't know why it did it. It disconnected and reconnected. Did anybody see that happen? Are we still on? What's going on? It looks like I see a bunch of like 4,500 kbps going. It says 0 drop frames, but of course if it actually quit and then started again,
didn't drop any frames.
just stop.
All right, it will connect right away if you turn it back on, so I think you're okay.
I didn't do anything. It just did it.
Well, the rain might have knocked it out or something.
Oh yeah, we got wireless between here and the house. We got like a dish between here and the house. Yeah, Brenda says it was buffering. Yeah, I think it was more than buffering. I think it was quitting. Yeah, we had big old downpour of rain, and we got like a transmitter receiver thing between here and the house, and I bet that's what knocked it out. Dean says I was only a truck driver after 23, and I never did it full time until 2016 when I was 46. I missed the hearing loss. Cough drop. Kim's still over there digging and digging and digging in the Mopar Cabinet of Mystery. What did you call it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Mopar Cabinet of Mystery.
Or Misery.
Cabinet of Misery?
Misery is also a potential.
Oh, I know some things that are in there. Just pull out the turbocharger.
It's a turbocharger. Buried pretty deep.
Dean Stevenson says trucks are so much quieter than the 1954. Is it Commer or Commer? TS3. I got my heavy trade CDL in 1993. You know, the only ones Commer, I guess it's Commer, I don't know, I've ever seen around here. When I was a kid in the 60s, there were a few like early motorhomes. That's the only thing I ever saw here. And then I just saw a short on somebody in New Zealand or Australia had one. And they called it a knocker. And then they had some little discussion through the comments. Said, oh, that's what that means. That's a diesel. And then somebody corrected me and said, no, it's a two-stroke diesel. Oh, okay. So it's specific. It's specific to two-stroke diesels. And I guess those things were noisy. There are a lot of two-stroke diesels here. Double knocker. What's a double knocker? See, that's this down under talk that I don't know. English that's English we didn't get. Kim, I'm gonna go check the fire. I'll be right back. Okay.
I'll make sure nobody gets out of hand on this stream.
Make sure nobody gets out of hand over there.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Hi, and why are you guys up so late? Mexican Spec. We are working on our car.
Mexican Spec's here.
Yeah, welcome to the stream, Mexican Spec. Glad you're here.
Oh,
Wade R030 blower, opposed cylinders, diesel, U.S. roots blower, patent. That's pretty cool.
Opposed cylinder diesel. Oh, I know what that means. The two pistons make the combustion chamber.
And Dougster Wolverine Garage says Detroit diesels are infamously noisy. To the untrained ear, it sounds like revving to the moon. Yeah, they've been waiting for you, Mexican Spec. Everybody keeps asking, when's Mexican Spec coming in? I said, I don't know. He might not come. He doesn't.
Well,
We didn't.
Mexican Spec is not yet.
No, I'm just making chatter. Um, yeah, it's a rocker arm crank diesel. Oh, I don't know what that is, Dean. Yeah, we didn't announce ahead of time that we're going to be out here. We were working on some projects, and he likes to stream. He really enjoys it. Like, I can't get him out of the house. If I tell him we're not going to stream, he just drags his feet all day.
Oh, come on.
And if I set a time, he'll be ready for it because it's important to him. He really likes it. I'm not trying to give you too much of a hard time. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing he would rather do around here than stream. He enjoys it so much. So that's what we do. Dust Devil Garage is here. Hey, how you doing? My dart has a motor in it. If you didn't see, last night in the stream we put the motor in the dart, and it's not started yet. I'm trying to find some parts. I was haphazard about organizing parts, and so I'm collecting things, but it's getting there. You can see there's a lot of things that can be assembled. I don't know where the starter is. I don't know where um, the bolt for the alternator. Like, it's a long, skinny bolt. And if you don't have the right one, got to have the right one. And yeah, we're just trying to get things uh, organized. Dust Devil Garage says you should get your van together for No Name Nationals 2025. The van is fine. I just went and picked up a bunch of firewood with the van. It's dirty, but other than that, it's still going. I didn't think that van was going to last. It was just to get me out of Pittsburgh. That was my escape from Pittsburgh van. Honestly, I thought I was going to be living in that van for a little while until I found a place. And then at No Name National, I took the van to No Name Nationals, and that's where I met Buckdale Campo. He said, "Come here and live with me. You don't have to live in your van." And I thought, that sounds better than living in a van. So I loaded all my stuff up from Pittsburgh, and I brought it here to Tennessee. Buff is a stream OG. I think he is. Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time. If people don't know, before he started his own channel, he was streaming on Uncle Tony's. He saw Uncle Tony's streaming, and he thought, that'll be fun. I want to do that. He went right down there, and they kept inviting him back. I am planning a van-only bracket race. Okay, well, that is interesting. That makes some. I don't think I'm going to chase after the V8 thing because I don't have a vehicle even for my V8 yet, and it's not built. And even if I did, from what they're saying, um, it won't be competitive. It won't be fast enough. It's just stockish. So my van is not fast. Is the van only bracket race gonna be? It's gonna be bracket racing. So it's to be like run your dial. Is that what you're saying, Dust Devil? Dust Devil, I didn't know you had a van. And then there's Nick the Van Man. Who else is got vans in the fire?
The Triple M.
Mustangs, Mopars, and minivans. You think they would bring the van though? Okay.
Well, John Wilbur has a van.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Run your time. All right. Well, my van would probably be brutal because it's so slow, and it'll probably be. Is it consistent? I bet it. I bet it's consistent. It's consistently slow, and so you won't be able to like pedal at the end because you'll be coming up on me so fast. I have a list and you are on it. Well, that will require me to continue to maintain the van for the rest of the summer, which I'll probably do. Um, Sometimes slower is better. Consistent in a bracket race, consistent's more important than fast. Um, and then if I'm going to bring the van, I'll have to use I'll have to tow my car with the dolly or the trailer because I'm sure he's going to want to bring his Fox body. He's so proud of it. So we're going to be working on that this year. With hidden nitrous, all is competitive. Yeah, if you make it down the track in one piece with your nitrous. Nitrous isn't the most stable type of situation for that. I'm trying to stay in frame here. I don't even know why there's frame on the car, but yeah, Dust Devil, that sounds interesting. Just tell the van it's leaving Pittsburgh, it will pick up a tenth or two. That's right. It will definitely hold together if I tell it it's going back to Pittsburgh. And if it breaks down, I'm sending it back to Pittsburgh. It will last forever. And it's not like I don't use the van every day, but when I use it, I use it hard. I have towed home 3 different trucks behind it. Plus, I went down to Murfreesboro to Moparal's place to bring a car back on the trailer, and there's another car that's on the trailer that I brought home with it. And then there was another truck that I brought home on the dolly, and then there was the Bronco 2 that I brought home. I brought all those vehicles home with the van. That van is like the mama of all these vehicles. Has brought them all home to me. Vandemonium. I like those little flags, Dougster. Nice. I bought a Dodge van to tow my Duster. Oh, okay. That's awesome, Dust Devil Garage. And having a van gives me a place to sleep, which I appreciate that too because I have neck problems, so I like to stop and lay down and take a break if I'm on a long trip. Thumper E85 juice and nitrous that Deacon cannot find. Oh my. Well, Dust Devil Garage, I think the van class could be something interesting. Do you have any thoughts on like an angle to make it more enticing? Because it can be difficult. If you have a car and a van, like it's more work to run both, right? Um, so if there is like some kind of enticement, like the mini bike, like why would you run the mini bike? Well, it's just fun and it's cute and whatever, and you can have a car and a mini bike. It doesn't cost any extra. It gives you extra track time. You know how exhausting it can be at the track. So what's the big what about the van class um, makes it like more enticing? What makes people want to make sure they bring their van? Because it's going to cost me more to bring my van and my car when I can just drive my car's built to be driven on the road, so I don't have to trailer it. The free candy, interesting. Vandemic. I don't know. That might get us delisted or shadow banned on YouTube. We're not allowed to talk about the pandemic. I'll be making a trophy, thinking about having Tony make t-shirts for anyone that enters. Those are interesting angles. Okay. What kind of trophy? I could see a trophy with a Matchbox van on top. And I'll have to pass tech with my van, which I guess that my van is techable.
Passed tech once before.
It did. The only thing I have to do to make my van pass tech is drain the antifreeze.
Put a real battery hold down on it.
Moo ha ha moo moo. You guys are strange. Vangerine. Dexter, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Dust Devil, if there's a, especially if there's a way to draw in people who wouldn't normally be at the event, if there were a cash prize incentive, not that I'm saying you should put up a cash prize in any way, just like, yeah, John Wilburn has basically said, like, well, if somebody wants to organize it, then I'll, if people are interested, then I'll do it, you know? It would if your van is orange. Well, okay, you got me there, Dougster. My van is not orange. Vanna White. The Ancients of Mumu. What are you doing over there, Buff Del Campo?
The fire was about out. I'm trying to get everything going.
Okay, did you put a lot more wood in there?
Not a lot more.
All right, well, we have to keep streaming then. We're going to be here for a couple hours, guys.
Well, no, it's not going to burn down.
Yeah, well, he just
I don't
loaded
have enough big pieces for weight.
loaded the wood stove.
What would I put big pieces in?
Dust Devil Garage, give me a moment to think on it, but I like plans. Who does vans? Nick the Van Man. Have you talked to Nick the Van Man? Dust Devil Garage? What is he doing so far? Is he just doing a call out, or what's his deal with his van? Have you talked with John Wilburn about it? I'm sorry if I seem distracted. I'm really distracted by the fact that I cannot find my alternator bolt. And I did just notice that I can't find I don't know where my starter is as well. And I'll bet you my alternator bolt and my starter are in similar locations. I'll bet you they're together somewhere in a bin or a box, waiting for him to get back to me. I said, well, it's still early. The event announcement has not even been made. Dust Devil Garage, and I don't want to hold you to anything, and I don't want to sign up for anything too crazy, but would you be willing to put up like matching prize money? Like if we could get like 4 people to put up a minor amount, like match each other for a minor amount of prize money, and then make like a first and second place in the class gets a payout, that would encourage people to do the class. Mexican spec. You know what? The frame is bent a little bit. That's why it leans over to the side. But it's intentional. See, the carburetor was hitting the hood, so we just I got up on and jump up and down on it, and it kind of bent over to the one side, and it still works. So we're just gonna keep it like that. Yeah, like ask. Well, John Wilburn, would John Wilburn run his van? I hate to ask John Wilburn to put prize money into another class. He's so busy, and I know he's stressed. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it to be any bother to him. I would want it to be something that we just put on it, like we just grant him, like we're handling this and we're taking the lead. I would help. I would help. What? Let me know. I'm just spitballing ideas. Let me know what you find out and get back to me. If we can get at least 4 people who are already involved in No Name Nationals, like to really take it as like you and me and 2 other people to be like dedicated to do that, then I will commit to bring my van for that. And
Another vehicle?
that's the other thing is maybe somebody will fly in to here. I can pick them up at the airport and they can drive the van out there. is a possible thing.
Dean.
Brenda says the more it leans, the more power it has. Yeah, that's what it was. As I foot braked it, and it was like, and it bent the engine mounts, and now it just stays that way. I love VinWiki. I don't always watch 35 minutes though. You know, a lot of people, even people that I really enjoy, like I really like watching uh, DD Speech Up, and I like watching who's the other fellow up in Canada, Zip Ties and Bias Plies. I like watching, and Vice Grip Garage. I like watching all those people, but I put them on 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. Always. They talk too slow. They don't make rapid enough cuts. I don't know. Maybe it's my ADD, but like they just go on and on and on. That's right. 318 will runs a van. Does he have a car as well though, or does he always bring the van? Because I know he would probably commit to that. That would be all right. Hey, yeah, I did meet him in person. I was at when I was first hanging out with Buff Del Campo, the first year that I was here in Tennessee. We were going down to Uncle Tony's garage. Ari has reappeared. Oh, that's great, Olive. We've wondered where he's been. So I met Peg. I was at Uncle Tony's garage, and we were working on the Valiant. And it was before we had done. There was no motor in the Valiant. It was before we built the motor for the Valiant. It was before we made the channel for Buff Del Campo. And this guy came up to us with that crazy accent. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" He was waiting for Tony, so he come out and hung out with us for like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I got to meet. Like, it wasn't just like a hey, I'm it, but like, yeah, we like plugged our channel, we talked about it. When he talks about the she-males and whatever like that, he's talking about me. He makes all kinds of jokes, and then he went back to Canada and he was making jokes about Uncle Tony stole his leg and stuff like that. And yeah, I got to meet him. That was cool. I have pictures of him, but he asked me not to ever
Yeah,
share
we're
them.
not
So
supposed to.
I would never. That would be like such a betrayal to someone. So yeah, I have video and pictures. Yeah, I got to meet him in person. I met him at the I met, I met Whistling Diesel at the lake. That's an inside joke too. We never met Whistling Diesel, but we did meet Peg. Uh-oh, battery's exhausted.
What batteries are exhausted?
The side camera. It said
Oh,
battery
camera
exhausted
just
and
took
went
a
out.
crap. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Well, now we know how long that lasts.
Okay, so now we got one camera. So what's it take to make that one go again? Could you plug it in, or do you have to charge a battery? Oh, this is a low rider. This is a low rider chair.
Um,
Oh, Mexican Spec is here.
yeah, Olive
cool.
said that Ari reappeared on YouTube. So looks like he was moving.
Oh, again?
I guess so.
Moving to where?
Dust Devil Garage says the first 2 years 318 will run only brought his van. So Dust Devil Garage is talking about having a van only class.
I
Did you hear
kind of
what we
heard
were
that
saying?
over there. Yeah, I heard that
So
over there.
I mean, easily, without even thinking too hard, it would be Dust Devil, us, Nick the Van Man, and 318 Will Run. We're established members who are likely to bring our vans. So if everybody's cool with, like, the problem will be if people like,
vehicles over there.
yeah,
I hate towing
I know.
vehicles.
But the problem would be if someone like that is like, well, I don't want to bring my van anyway, so I'm not going to be in it. If people started saying that too much, like if Nick the Van Man built a car this year and it wasn't going to bring his van and that kind of thing, then.
But then if somebody like Dean Stevenson flew into Nashville, we just pick him up and he could drive it over there. But then Dean Stevenson.
Wait a minute. Dean doesn't know which side of the road to drive.
I was going to say, does Dean know how to drive on the correct side of the road? Dean, have you ever driven on the right side of the road? Or Olive could come over here and I don't know what she's got. She could drive something over here, and then because she's pretty close to us, and she could drive the van over. Or I'm sure we got somebody else around here that wants to go. They could just drive it. Maybe. I don't know. It's an old, goofy looking van, but it drives nice.
Yeah, last I saw the Dart, it was at a storage garage.
Which dart is this?
Dean doesn't have a driver's license to drive in the U.S. I'll bet you we can get a waiver
You know what? When I have been in
for
countries
the
other
trip.
than the US, they have just accepted my license. And I don't know why. Like in the UK, I didn't have to have any special license. I rented a car and they just said, okay. Huh.
Well, he might not have got it over there yet, though, Mexican spec. It takes time to
And I
move.
know. Oh, CDL. Oh, it's not, it's a CDL, so it's not valid.
Dean Stevenson says it's just like VR. He just flips the image so he can drive properly. I understand. No U.S. valid CDL.
When I was working at the airplane place, the civilian place, we had customers from New Zealand that showed up, and the owner of the place, John, he had a Corvette, bright yellow Corvette, and he just lent it to the people. He goes, "Here, just use this while you're here." And they're driving around. They got stopped by the police right away because they did something stupid. They like turned the wrong way or something. And so they started to get out of the car, and the police go, "Get back in the car," So they figured out because the police in the U.S. mean business. Okay, so
Yeah.
they didn't give him a ticket, and they cut him loose with whatever driver's license he had. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to find those people again, find out what happened.
Do you want this chair back?
The chair back. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to do? What are you doing? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm looking for my starter and
Oh,
just
it's a. I put that fire was almost out,
yeah. Well,
so I put a bunch of wood in it.
okay. Well,
And it whooped it up going again. Put an
we're
oily rag, not rag, an
even
oily.
if everybody goes to sleep, we're just going to continue
I
to
put
stream.
an oily thing in there, paper towel, and that got it going again. Uh, let's see, I think actually 6 hours from here. Looked it up once. So
All
you
of it.
can drive, but you have to organize it in advance.
Did I put my starter in
Diplomatic.
Buff's car? Is that what I did? I
Like
have a.
install it or like put it in the trunk.
Remember your starter went out?
Oh, Oh, you did like magically show up with a starter. Oh no, that isn't right because we drove this thing to No Name Nationals. It had a starter in it. That was long after that. You showed up with a starter, just replaced it in my Valiant, and then many months later we went to No Name Nationals in this Dart, and it started. So I assumed there was a starter in it. You
I
look.
don't remember. I don't remember anything. I'm stupid.
That's why I got a Ford, so we aren't changing parts anymore. Then watch, I'll put a Chrysler engine in it. Let's see, as Dean Stevenson, our Australian magazine Wheels had a Holden Commodore. Callus. Director exported to USA in '86. The editor of Wheels was in Tennessee and cut off a state trooper on the highway in a right-hand drive car. It is legal to drive right-hand car drives here. Right-hand drive cars here. The post office, they use them all the time. In fact, the post office trains people to drive from the right side with left-hand drive cars. So they sit there like this with their left foot and their left hand and drive, and they deliver mail out this side. But they can also buy right-hand drive
I
cars.
think the post office has some kind of waiver. No?
Well, I don't know, but I know you can drive a right-hand drive car in the U.S. I mean, I've driven right-hand drive cars here. Not many, but you know, Lotus 7. I drove a Lotus 7 one time on the right-hand drive. drove a car from New Zealand. It was what was that thing called? It was the old Citroen, like 54 and earlier Citroen, traction Avant. It felt really weird because I rode in it first in the glove compartment in front of me, and I was sitting where the driver should drive. Trooper freaked out when a Pontiac ST looking four-door car had the steering wheel on the wrong side. Yeah, he should have told the trooper he was cross-eyed. That's like, dude, you're wrong. You better go see a doctor. You got mental problems. You're seeing all backwards.
Yeah, I'm sure that was over great.
You're seeing backwards, dude.
Mouth and all.
Well, what do they got now? The Tennessee state troopers got all this trouble because of the bad DUI arrest, where they have 208 or something DUI arrests, where they knocked it over again. They arrested all these people for driving under the influence of alcohol, and they all blew zero. They had zero alcohol in their system.
They arrested them?
Yeah, and it's in Tennessee. It was a big deal. Steve Leto covered it.
I saw something about it, but they arrested them?
The bad thing about that is you get arrested for that. You still have it as an arrest record. Not as a conviction, but it's an arrest record. And you got to go get a lawyer. You got to spend a night in jail. You got to bail yourself out. You got to go to court. It's a big mess.
You got to try and get.
And it's 208 people like that. You know.
What a racket!
Something wrong? Yeah. You better know what you're doing when you arrest somebody for DUI. I had a friend that arrested a guy for DUI, and the guy blew a zero. The guy couldn't walk straight, couldn't stand up without holding on to stuff. He goes, man, I don't know what was wrong with that guy, but he was zero, and he got out of jail. They could have a 4-hour hold on him. He got out of jail the next morning, and he was off duty by then. He asked the guys at the jail, and they said he was just like that when he left. And he goes, man, I asked him, are you on any drugs? Are you on any prescription medicine? You know, is there any reason why you should walk like this? He goes, I asked him all those questions, and the guy just didn't do anything, and he was sure he was going to get sued, and he never got sued over it. They dropped the charges, but he goes, maybe he was on some drug or something. That was 40 years ago at least, and the guy was still. Well, you know him. Steve that came and visited us 2 years ago at Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made that arrest, and he was. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with that. And the guy's father came and picked him up, and they asked the father, and the father wouldn't answer. Something was going on.
Yeah, he was on some kind of.
Shouldn't have been driving anyway, but still, it wasn't not a correct arrest, and he was really worried about it. Let's see.
Well, no, someone seems impaired. That's not.
Trooper freak. Okay, let me get caught up here. Yeah, people. All says, yeah, people import cars from Japan all the time, and yeah, oh yeah, they have right-hand drive. Yeah, that's another place I've seen them is the Japanese cars that have been imported. I mean, you don't see a lot of them here, but they're here. Yeah, a Lotus 7. That was a fun car to drive. It's the only car I could sit in and put my hand flat on the pavement while I was sitting in the driver's seat. Sit in a stoplight, put my hand down like that. I was like, whoa, sitting pretty close to the ground. Being my partly New Zealand government-owned company is also part owned by the U.S. Postal Service. Dean Stevenson looks like the last Brooks Stevens Studebaker. What's that? The one that looks like a razor up front? The B.L. Brock Kelly director looks. Oh, that's the name of a car. Director looks like the front of a Lamborghini. You're wrong. Cavo's here.
Welcome to the stream, Tavo. It's the middle of our night.
So Cavo gave us a super chat last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to try out my super chat machine. This is for Tavo that he didn't get last night. Okay, here we
He just
go.
likes to do it.
I got to play with it. See the Studebaker up there? That's my super chat. I think that's pretty cool.
He's proud of it.
I got it. I wanted to show everybody.
It was hard work.
Tim, checking in. Just put the dog to bed. Oh, so the dog's not going to look at him tonight
Hey,
and go,
Tim.
hey, you going
Tim
to bed?
gave us a super chat before. We didn't give him the lights. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll give him these are lights from the past. See, that's my new super chat lights. The Studebaker has the ability to say yay for a super chat. I think that's pretty cool.
Super chat.
Yeah, that's really why we came up here tonight. I had all the wiring harness made for that, but we hadn't installed it yet. So
No, that was the thing. The only thing he cared
that's
about.
really what we came up here for, was to set that up and
That's
do
why
it.
he came up here. I had work to do.
Tavo says, "Oh yeah, the lights work well and look good." Yeah, that was pretty good.
He's
You know,
happy about the
They're
lights.
rapid fire lights, and because of the rate of the camera, they don't show quite like what they are. They become intermittent rapid fire, and actually, it's more random, and it looks kind of good, I think, because it isn't perfect, except on they're very amber, and on camera they look almost white. They don't have they're probably pretty bright. They're brighter than I thought they were. Where are these little lights? Kim bought bags of those things. Now I swiped a couple of them. They were here. You took them away.
What did
All those bags of those lights.
Oh, I did move them all away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to show what one looks like. But yeah, this is a very impromptu live.
Oh,
Just turned it on. No thumbnail, no nothing. Just like I wanted to see the lights work in the screen. So I'm looking at them. I go, well, let's go live. Click, we're live.
yeah.
You still looking?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck I did. How I lost so much parts. And now I'm noticing that I don't know where the starter is.
Okay, so the starter and the starter bolts and the other bolts you're looking for are likely to be all together.
All together someplace.
Did you look in?
Safe.
Did you look in your trunk?
Where they won't get.
Hmm.
No, I didn't look in the trunk.
Well, they could be in the trunk.
I didn't put any parts in.
Yeah, but you're not looking there. You're looking everywhere else. Makes you think the trunk would be a good place to look.
Here's a pile of stuff that came.
Last night we installed an engine and transmission. Tonight we've looked for bolts.
The whole freaking night because I'm an idiot.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
The thing of it is it's been months and months that this car has been in pieces. And we've moved so much stuff around.
Well, Tavo said, did you look in the neatly organized parts boxes on the shelf labeled SAE bolts? You know, we have boxes up here that are labeled Studebaker parts. Like I was saying earlier, I bag and tag everything. And Kim kind of piles things in where she knows where they are. And then, but if it's been too long, I still think we pushed it outside, which would mean could have thrown stuff in the trunk.
Well, if you think back, right?
I'm thinking back.
First we got, which did we get first? Did we take the car apart first or did I get the other engine first?
I don't know.
Right?
I really don't know.
Now you're following.
I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking things get
So much
misplaced.
stuff around since.
This is a small shop, and it gets cluttered really fast, especially this time of year because we're doing everything indoors. And so you move stuff and rearrange and rearrange and then when you need something, it's like 3 rearrangements back or more.
Well, one of the things that's really crazy is that I missed the start.
Well, it's far enough back you couldn't remember the starter was put on my car.
And the starter that's in your car. Uh, we did that before because I started and drove the Dart over.
Well, and you drove the Dart to No Name Nationals and back, which was about 6 months after we got the Valiant running. Oh, it was a year after we got the Valiant running. Remember we were going to drive the Valiant to No Name Nationals second end?
No, the starter went out on the Valiant at a different time.
Oh.
I remember that. It went out, and then we fixed it, and then the bat really hasn't been used at all since.
Man, it's raining hard again. Search the Brooke Stevens 1966 Studebaker Scepter show car and the 1986 B.O. Holden Calais looks just like it. Oh, it's a pointy thing on the front. Looks like a electric razor. That car? I think Studebaker's body designs were way off from the rest of the world. I don't think that thing would have sold. I think it's a cool looking car, but I think it's way out of sync with what everybody else was doing in '66. There were two cars called Scepters, right? Yeah, exactly. You're talking about exactly to me because I said it looks like a electric shaver. There was another car called the Scepter. What was it? Wasn't Studebaker. The Scepter before that was about, I don't know, maybe 10 years before that. Maybe not quite 10 years before that. Anybody know what that was? Paulo hit 42C here today and rained for a while this afternoon. You reckon it's comfortable at the moment? Oh, man. 42 and raining is, yeah, it probably cooled off a little when it rained, I would think. Dean Stevenson, Sunbeam Scepter. No, a Humber Scepter. Oh, I didn't even think of though. I didn't even know about the Humber. One I was thinking about was it was a Chrysler product. It was a Chrysler product. There was some kind of station wagon looking thing. Oh no, maybe it's a Packard, which would have been Studebaker as well.
All right.
It was a station wagon called the Scepter.
There it is. You want to know where it was?
Where was it?
You know how I have my own little toolbox that I keep in my van?
Yeah. The box is in here.
Box is in here. I must have been using my own tools for a minute, and I often leave parts in the toolbox when I'm using the tool trays. It doesn't explain where the starter went, but at least we found something.
Humber and Sunbeam Scepter were the same car in different countries. You know, the car, I know it was imported to the U.S., but I never saw one because it was in my parts catalogs. It was a Humber Super Snipe in the late 60s, I think. And I've seen pictures of it. I think it's a cool looking car, but never saw one in person.
Oh, you know what? I can turn the Elgato back on.
You can turn it back on. What happened? You got power now?
Yeah.
Did you have power or did it overheat or what happened?
No, the battery is dead.
So how's it going to turn on with a dead battery?
I put it on wall power.
Wall power. I like it. That's why the electric cars are so good, because the power comes from the wall. Just your wall, like just power comes out of it. So free energy. We're ready?
Yeah, check it out.
Hey. Hey, we're there again. Okay, I'm going to mess with the sound for a second. Hopefully I don't kill anything.
The second sound. Is it already?
No, I'm going to try to find. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to make both channels work. I don't know what to do.
Turn the mute thing on. The little red down, the little red.
This thing?
Yeah, click that.
That's for the cat cam.
Oh, you were trying to make it. Oh,
the other channel working.
Yeah, I don't know how to double it, and it would probably be difficult. We should figure it out.
Figure it out and do it some time. Yeah.
Yeah, not while we're trying to stream.
Not while we're streaming.
Sound is always a...
So is the Roots Group owned by Chrysler. Lennon has one, the blue one. I've got a white one. I took pictures of. Oh, that's the Sunbeam. Scepter. Dean Stevenson Landon has one, the blue one. I've got a white one. I took. Okay, I don't know. Tim. It's 23 Fahrenheit here in Colorado. That's -5 C. Although even the dog doesn't stay outside long. Yeah, I bet. Their little foot pads get cold quickly. Mexican Spec says getting down to 60 here. All the cats are sleeping with me at night. It's that cold for them. You know, a friend of mine had a house with a flat roof, and then it had ceiling heat of all the stupid things, so he couldn't afford to heat the place. So he just heat his room with ceiling heat. But you go outside at night, and the cats would all be sleeping right over his room on his roof. Going tropical. Tropical. Kim, why is there a cheap Fram filter there?
That's going on the car.
Oh, it's just like a break-in.
Yeah, we're gonna
break-in filter. Okay.
Yep, it's gonna get thrown away really quick.
Umber Super Snipe versus Humber Super Snipe. Is it pronounced Umber? Do you not pronounce the H? I don't know. It looks like Humber to me. Trying to get this chair to roll. It only rolls a little bit before it wants to roll back the other way, because I think the concrete's uneven. Kim running the grinder over there. Maybe you can't hear it. Talos says he just checked. The rain we had brought it down to 40 C, 104 Fahrenheit. Yeah, rain at 104, that's kind of warm. When I lived in Yuma, that was kind of a springtime temperature, 104, 40 C. I used to really enjoy that, but not raining. So thick cloud cover holding it in. All of I think in like the Midlands, that's just the accent on umber. Jim says, I don't see the turbo mounted in there yet. No, it's over there in that cabinet. That's the whatever she called it, the
mystery cabinet.
The mystery cabinet, Mopar mystery or something.
Mostly the mystery is where's all the parts that I need in that cabinet.
Dean Stevenson says in Australia they call I don't know what that word is. I don't know. What are these words? That might be English. Oh, 40C is nice if it's dry. Yep. That's how Yuma was. Yuma, Arizona was always 10 or 11% humidity, unless it rained, and that was about 2 or 3 times a year, and then you get a big old downpour for 20 minutes. But Yuma was basically a dry place. He said, I find that Irish English is often the most accurate. Dean is referring to the letter H. Oh, that's an H. That's what that word is. H. A H. That's H spelled out. Spelled out the letter H.
Thanks for stopping in, everyone.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Goodness,
Like herbs, yeah. In the U.S., they're herbs, and in England, they're herbs, aren't they?
this is true.
Herbs. And I don't know about Canada. What gets me in Canada, we have things you stick on the surface, and we call them decals. In Canada, they call them decals.
Decals. I thought that was just a joke word. I didn't know they really meant it.
Well, who's that guy that does all the radio stuff? Mr. Carlson's Lab. Big YouTube channel, Mr. Carlson's Lab. If you like to fix radios, you watch him.
I found my starter. I got to move your screen for a second.
But he calls it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, well, it's the screen is also raking up over the top of the table. So.
What's coming up over the top?
Oh, it's back there on the. You put stuff back. You got all kinds of parts back there.
I put it on the shelf. Oh man, it's all filthy.
All filthy.
Yeah, you remember why? Because there was all that oil leaking out of the stinking. Ugh.
So, can you put my? I can maybe do it. You're probably too filthy.
I can put it back. I forgot already. A little bit sketchy.
Yeah, but it's caught down. It's caught on my. Oh, swinging. See, they can see that screen in the.
Do you want it up this way more?
Just come back toward me a little bit. There, that's good. That's fine. Kiwis call them stickers. Well, sticker here. See, a decal is a thing that's like that clear around it. And you put it on, and then you take the paper out from under it, and you can see through it. Except where the printing is. And a sticker, it's just a sticker. It's a piece of paper or vinyl or something that's got sticky shit on the back of it.
A sticker is a cheaper thing than a decal or a decal.
So how do Americans say my ex-father-in-law's name? Herbert. It's Herbert. I knew a guy named Herbert. I've known several people named Herbert. You know what? I knew a guy named Herbert. I worked with him for years and years in automotive repair. But he went by Herb. Everybody just called him Herb. And then I knew somebody else named Herbert, and he went by Bert. And everybody called him Bert. In fact, I didn't even know his name was Herbert for years. So, Dean Stevens says Herbert. Paul says, I've been known to occasionally confuse Midwesterners with Boston pronunciation of drawer. Yeah, draw. Midwesterners, I can tell right away because I lived in the Midwest in South Dakota when I was a kid, and it's Dakota. And I don't know, it's just the way that everything's pronounced. I pick it out right away. And it's because I was there, and everyone, when I hear that, it's like, ooh. It's like when I was a kid hearing that, Down here, they're all stickers. Oh, okay, they're all stickers. Gustavo says that they're all stickers. So, like if any of you ever built model cars, they have the thing on the back the little stickers that you soak in water and then you put them on the car. Those are also called stickers. Because see here, those are the decals. Keep your filthy paws off of my silky draws, Elvis. So how come herbs are herbs? I have no idea. I was just born into this. The first time I ever heard of herbs, I was a little kid. And I was reading a recipe, I think, that my mother had me reading, and it said herbs. And she quickly corrected me. It's herbs. Ooh, okay. Herbert W. Strong. Stevenson saves on ink. Toggle like
Going outside real fast.
You're going outside real fast? Kim's going outside real fast. Oh, it says slide transfers. I guess you could call it a slide transfer. I mean, that would really explain what it is. Ontalo says, yeah, that's what they're called there, slide transfers. I used to use them on model cars when I was really young, like you know, 5, 6 years old. I first started building model cars, but then I didn't like them because they start to turn yellow and they just don't look as good. So I quit putting decals on my cars or slide transfers on my cars. Those cars are somewhere around here. I'm afraid to find out where they are. I think they're probably out in that shed. That'd be terrible. All my old model cars out there in that shed. I'm afraid to look at them. Probably destroyed.
Would you rather me pretend like I don't find them if I do?
No, if we find them, let's get them out up on the porch and see if they're any good. Why did you see them?
I just know that if they're destroyed, you get mad.
A lot of good stuff I did when I was young got ruined.
Yeah. I like chased John Cope out of the. Did you notice that? He came
Yeah,
in.
I think you chased John Cope away. I don't know. He's a busy guy. He says he's really having a hard time keeping up with all the orders. He's thankful for all the orders, but now he's got to get them all out, So he's probably can't spend a lot of time sitting here listening to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the camera.
Yeah.
I am going to walk over to the fire. Check the fire again because I didn't check it soon enough earlier.
I mean, I was just there, but yeah, go ahead. I didn't look
Did you
inside.
open it?
No. No, it's putting out a lot of heat soccer. It's good. I get around.
No, I can't get around. It's too much.
Woo, I get around.
Yeah, but I can't get around there. It's too much. Too much. So I got to go through this.
That's my plan. I've got them trapped.
This row of traps.
About a fourth of U.S. language of my model cars are on a bookcase. The rest are still packaged in boxes from moving 3 years ago. Side. Oh, my nose is running. Side transfer. Okay. Wow. I guess I gotta make me friendly and sociable. Hi everybody. Oh, the dart's going good. Dart is going good. Dust Devil Garage. If anyone is looking for a shop heater, I just did a review on an awesome one. Was it a sponsored review? That's cool if it is. Dust Devil Garage. Does it keep your whole garage? I'll watch the review. How's that sound? What does it use, Dust Devil Garage? Is it propane? Kerosene, electric, diesel. I have a diesel heater for for a van, but I've never used it. No, I wish. That's all right. Since a sincere review is probably better. Oh, you're making what I bought the materials to make 3 years ago for when I convert the Ute to auto. It's very quiet. You didn't say what it runs on. Oh, it's one of those turbo heaters. It'll use kerosene, diesel, or jet fuel. Is this what you were putting the slant six in? Yeah, it's in. It's in there. We're trying to pipe it up, get all the wiring and everything. Everything just the thing is at the time that I brought this car in, I had I had the motor that was in the car, and I had another motor, and I had an extra transmission. It just all blew up, and then pieces went everywhere. So
Too many engines apart at once. That's okay.
I really want to find some jet fuel for it. That sounds expensive. Wouldn't diesel just be easiest to get? Dust Devil Garage is talking about the heater that he found. It would be nice for us to have a kerosene or diesel type heater, one of those jet ones, just to heat this place up quick while the fire's getting going, because the fireplace takes a while to really get going, and then it makes for excellent heat. Here, go ahead. You can take your spot back.
Yeah, and something about jet fuel. I'm trying to find where that is.
Dust Devil Garage was talking about his heater works with several different possible.
Yeah, you know what's wrong with jet fuel? We ran jet fuel when I was doing, during the war and everything. I worked with the military, and we had things that, jet fuel in the military is really easy to get. But the problem with jet fuel, and they can run it in diesel engines, they can run it in all kinds of things. But the problem is it doesn't have any lubrication in it, so you have to add something to it so it lubes. But they don't do that, and they run out of the stuff, and some people don't know it, and then they destroy a lot of fuel controls, and anything that requires lube that the diesel fuel has in it, and kerosene. I think also, I'm not sure if kerosene has. Like the in the U.S. the red tinted fuel that you can buy that's basically diesel fuel, but it's used for heating oil, but you're not paying road tax on it. That's what the red dye means. Is that I think that's got some lubricating ability. It's just you start running jet fuel and stuff. Make sure it's not something that needs the lube. Oh yeah, Chris here. You really want to find some jet fuel for it? Okay, there. About find me jet fuel. You just go to any airport that has Jet A.
But yeah, find a local one. They'll have a little pump out there.
You're gonna pay for that.
I don't know that that's gonna be the most.
Okay, see, the thing with diesel is you're gonna pay road tax. The thing with jet fuel, there's probably some taxes on that, and it's also a pretty high quality product. And then heating oil, you don't pay any road tax on it, but it's got the red dye in it, so don't get caught with it in a gas tank, or in a gas tank that's on the road. You can run it on gas, diesel engine on your own property.
Yeah, just run regular road diesel. The tax isn't that much.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it probably is.
No, I've looked in Tennessee.
Really?
I looked because.
Oh, in Tennessee, I don't know everywhere. That's a state thing.
In Tennessee, the discount for buying the off-road diesel would only matter if you were using hundreds or thousands of gallons of off-road diesel. So, if you were running commercial equipment off-road. Otherwise,
yeah, and then diesel. Okay, so running 150 drones, drones. Yeah, I gotta do a short on drones. Buy jet fuel for cleaning. This is Tavo. I buy jet fuel for cleaning. It's sold as kerosene, but officially kerosene here is supposed to be blue. This stuff is clear. And kerosene. The further north you go here, you can get like fuel oil, kerosene. Kim, they have kerosene 1 and kerosene 2 up north. Like when you're buying uh, fuel home heating oil. What are the two kerosenes for? Let's see here. It sounds cool to run jet fuel in my heater.
Oh yeah.
Kim, I thought your idea on the old 6-cylinder was good. Oh, this is Tim. Too bad the router didn't work out. Oh, that deal.
I had a feeling there would be trouble. I'm actually surprised it went for as long as it did, and it was interesting to see how well the.
I got a friend that's a machinist. I need to talk to him and go, hey, can you fix this? Take $100,000 off this block. He might be able to do it.
Yeah.
He might not be able to. I don't know.
The problem with the Slant 6 is it's so big.
Yeah, it's big and it's a big clumsy thing to work on. You got to tie it down. And he's not set up to do blocks, but he might be able to do it. I mean, this guy built a helicopter that he designed. He built it, did all his own TIG welding, aluminum, took a Kawasaki engine that he machined some of the gearbox off of it and used part of the gearbox as a reduction drive. And he flew the helicopter. I mean, this guy's he's pretty capable individual. He's the one that lives down in Florida.
Kitsy Fluff?
No, that guy lives in Ohio. Kitsy Fluff's another machinist. I don't think he can do it. He's got a CNC mill that's not very big. I mean, he'd do it for me if he had
the thing that blows the whole thing up is the weight and the transportation.
Yeah, we'd have to drive it down there. But I want to go see this guy anyway, so yeah. I don't know. It'd be fun to go see him. Running red. Kerosene is expensive as hell. Dust Devil says that.
Is it?
Well, that's why, here the wood stove works out because we've got
just labor to collect
it. There's a lot of oak trees around here, and oak trees just break and big chunks fall down, so we get some of our own.
Yeah. People will
and then
thank you for taking the wood away.
There was like a woman up the street that the trunk was getting rotten and she had to have it cut down, so they cut it down and they were happy just to give the stuff away. And man, we got like 2 years worth of wood just from that tree. Yeah, it's like there's always somebody around here. It's not like in California where you could buy these little bundles for $18 or something.
I mean, you could, but
yeah, you can go to the grocery store and find little bundles of 3 little logs for expensive. But if you see somebody cutting down a tree and go talk to them, you probably can get the stuff for free. And then it's not going to be ready for a year, so you pile it somewhere and let it sit there.
One of the problems is it takes a long time for it to be
ready. And wood, like right now, I just checked that wood stove. That thing's keeping us nice. It's 66 degrees in here. Yeah. Talo says kerosene here is about 120 Australian for a 20-liter drum, but at the pump it's 220 per liter. And it's a lot of conversions for me between the Australian dollar and the liters. Oh, you'll traumatize Ari, Buff. Just use a rising table. Oh. Yeah, I've got a friend in Florida he's a couple of years younger than me. So basically we're the same age, but he had a machine shop in California that he moved to Kentucky, and now he's moved it to Florida. And he builds helicopters and gyrocopters, and he's got a runway and a machine shop, and he pretty much doesn't do a lot of work for other people. He was into flipping houses for a while. He and I worked on the drones together at somewhere. So, you know, I think he's kind of like me, poorly retired, not rolling in cash, but not having to work either. Well, if you should buy broken airplanes off marketplace and do, will it fly home? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I'm sure
there's guys that crash doing that stuff.
That's.
Buff McCool fly man. No, I'm done flying. I can't pass a medical, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, when I was young, I really couldn't wait to fly and got my pilot's license and did all that. But after a while, it becomes work. And years and years and years of that as a work, as a career. So I don't really want to go back to it. I look back at my days working on the old cars, and it was this era of cars I was working on. In fact, this thing, this Dart, it was like a 10-year-old car then. Approximately $75 US for 5 gallons, US gallons.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
That's in the drum. Yeah. I think those drones over New Jersey are just Amazon delivery drones that got lost.
Nah. They're clumpy.
You look at them. They're real fuzzy pictures. I don't know why. I don't know. Should I do my short, or should I just say what I think here? You look at them. You look at them, and they have position lights and strobes on them. All FAA required stuff, or ICAO, which is the international requirements, which are basically the same. And these are aircraft that are probably mostly airliners coming in and landing, and they're in the sky, and it's just somebody went nuts and decided to start calling them drones. And
I'm telling you,
it's terrible.
Officials are saying that is not what's going on.
And the reason the officials are playing stupid is, man, somebody's going to get a bunch of funding out of this.
Well, yeah.
There's agencies. The FBI said, well, they only had $500,000 to investigate drones, and other agencies, all the agencies that could possibly investigate drones are going to get big chunks of money, big funding. That's what all this is about. Follow the money trail. Just hope nobody starts shooting at them, because they'll shoot at an airliner and kill people. And that's a bad part of this. Amazon delivery drones. I've actually watched them. I was in Oregon, and there's an airport in Oregon that's in national airspace, so it's a kind of a hassle to fly drones there. But and you got to go through a bunch of paperwork and a bunch of nonsense. But the airport there is real friendly for it, and so they accept that there's drones being flown at their airport. But you have to coordinate with. More than coordinate, you have to fit into the whole national airspace system and air traffic control and everything. But Amazon is there flying their drones. It was kind of interesting. I was watching them fly. Total says, or $5.30 US per gallon at the pump. Yeah, that's a bit steep, although I guess you could do it. I don't want to do that in here. I don't want to pay anything when I got free wood.
I mean, it's not free. We have to go out and get it. We are able to go out and get it. So.
Dust Devil says at the hardware store, it's $30 for 2.5 gallons of kerosene. Have I ever seen a UFO? Well, I guess in the true sense of it, it's unidentified flying object. Yes, I've been flying and I couldn't identify something out there. And one time I was flying at night in California, one of those nice cold nights in winter California. Way out in front of me, I could see a bright light that was at my altitude. And I was in a Cessna flying along, and it looked like I just looked like I wasn't getting any closer, and I was cruising along at at least 120, 120, 130, something like that. And I'm just like an hour, I'm not getting any closer. And then it just went out. But after thinking about where it was and everything, I think the military was probably out there doing some kind of nighttime exercises. And they put a flare on a parachute, and the heat from the flare kind of keeps the parachute up. I think that's probably what that was. I was telling Kim one time I saw three lights that looked like they were coming towards me, and then they just like turned into one light. And I think what it was is it was something in formation that was flying along toward me, and then it turned like this and looked like one light, and then it went behind some stuff. Probably landed. It was probably three helicopters or something. I don't know. Uh, yeah, there's times you fly in and you don't know what the heck you're looking at. And that thing I think was a flare was so far out in front of me that it was I just wasn't catching up to it. I think it was probably sitting still, but I'm not sure. I don't know what it was. If we could set you up as a lead PB investigator, oh yeah, lead investigator. He says lead like PB.
Oh, just what we need is lead.
Lead, but I think he means lead.
Lead investigator, right? It's got inside drone information.
Tavo says, or Mexican Spec says, Tavo, you are paying less than we are for a gallon of gas. We produce the petroleum. We're over $6. What is wrong down there? I remember when people go to Mexico to fill their cars up, and now it's crazy. What do you have? You have like
going on and on in the media about the aliens.
No, it's somebody else. It's Dean.
No, I'm just curious if that his media is showing that the same stuff ours is.
Yeah, Mexican Spec, you watching all the stuff about these crazy drones in New Jersey. Now they're going to be everywhere. As soon as there's a money trail to be followed, they'll be everywhere. Talo says, that's for kerosene. Our petrol is even cheaper, which is their gasoline. That's devil. I believe in aliens because it is more fun than not believing. Well, I do too, but I don't know if they're traveling here. I mean, just look up there at the number of star systems and galaxies, and pretty arrogant to think we're the only ones living here.
I don't believe it's aliens. I think it's interdimensional or time travelers.
Tavo says our petrol converts to 4.13 US per US gallon. Okay, and that would be about I think that's about where California is right now. That's a bit on the pricey side. Where are we at right now for gasoline? I haven't bought any in a week or two.
I saw $2.49 as the cheapest cash
$2.49 a gallon here in Tennessee for gasoline for petrol.
Yeah, but it's usually closer to $2.79. It's just really weak. And next week it'll be back up. It's a low, cheap week.
Mexican Spec says, I haven't been watching anything on that. Tony talks about them and gets all excited.
Oh yeah, Tony was talking all about it. He was, that's the thing is that if you click on it, then you keep getting more from the algorithm. So every night there's new updates of no new information. But more and more people are talking about it. But there's really no new information. It's just like there's a lot of drones in the sky.
You want to know what's going on? There's a guy. He's a fighter pilot, or was a fighter pilot. Now he's airline pilot. The guy he's got a channel called CW Lemoyne. CW Lemoyne just did a part on it. He's got it. He understands it perfectly. Yeah, Dean Stevens says, I believe in myself. I'm an alien to you. That's so. Can't get kerosene here in Colorado. Get my old kerosene heater away. Had it since the 70s. Got propane space heater. Works great. Cheaper to run. So they outlawed kerosene in Colorado, huh? So it says 7.85 Australian per imperial gallon. Oh, here we go with more weird gallons. Gallons, there's imperial gallon, U.S. gallons. I don't know. And then a gallon of paint, which never has a gallon in it. gallon can with Leslie. Olive says $2.99 here today. Been around there for months. Ours has been going down slowly.
Yeah, that's Tennessee.
Dean Stevenson says Ryan Macbeth is fun. Olive says plenty of suspects about any coordinated drone flying, really. Yes.
Yeah, but aren't they going to get in a bunch of trouble? Unless it's military, they're going to get in a bunch of trouble.
This is one of these subjects I know so much about. It'd take me 2 years to sit here and explain it. To fly a drone in national airspace, which means something other than restricted military airspace or in a war zone, it's just a nightmare of BS you got to go through. And then if you're a drone pilot like these people that take pictures and things with their little drones that are this big, those things are not supposed to go over 400 feet, so they're in uncontrolled airspace anyway. And then there's places they're not supposed to fly them where there's controlled airspace. So, of course, you have to learn the difference. There's a learning curve, and most people don't want to do that.
Amazon was testing those drones. They would just tell.
Amazon is in the system. I've been there where they are. They're 100% in the system.
Right, so it wouldn't be a mystery. The government would come out instead of saying we don't know anything about it,
right.
Don't worry. The government would say,
I think the government's saying they don't know what's going on because
so they get money.
Well, yeah, they're saying, it could be drones, and we're going to need some money, and all these different agencies are going to want funding, and they're going to get it, and they're going to get it. So
they won't,
and they'll waste it.
Waste it. It's important. They need to spend that money.
I've watched governments waste money. It's sad.
They do spend the money, don't
they? Propane is expensive here, and we produce plenty of it. This is Tabo. Close to 200 Australian dollars for a 100-pound bottle. So $2 Australian pound. Dean Stevenson says, plus 450 feet above ground level. That's awkward. 450 feet. I think it's, what's 450 feet? 450 feet is way up there. You can be in controlled airspace pretty easily. I just want a small drone to get better video footage. Yeah, you get one of those. Just go get if you want to understand what you're doing, go take the FAA test, the Part 107 test, and then you'll know what you're doing. And it take you a few days to study and take the test, and you'll have a 107. You'll have the certificate that says you passed the 107 test. And then of course you do something stupid, they'll hold you liable for it. Which you're going to do even if you don't have the 107 and do something stupid, they're going to probably hold you liable for that too. Here we're real close enough to the local airport that we can't fly anything more than a toy, at least without a hassle. Yeah. Yeah, Tim sounds like a fundraiser for some agency. Well, they haven't actually said that, but I can just see that coming. Just follow the money trail.
Yeah, follow the money.
Follow the money trail. And they get this many people wound up, they're going to get some money for something. Bible says 127 US for 100 pounds of propane. 127 US. So it's $1.27 pound.
100 pounds of propane is a lot.
How much those propane bottles we buy? How much is in one of those bottles? One's using a gas grill.
That's a 30-pound bottle.
30-pound bottle, and we pay what, $25 or something?
For a refill, yeah.
Okay, for a refill, it's a 25-pound bottle.
No,
I know.
It's a 40 pounds.
40 pounds, and I know they don't fill.
Sorry.
Okay, it's 40 pounds, and we pay 26 or something for it.
Yeah, 26.
I want 99 red balloons.
It went up for a little while because of that hurricane, but then it came back down.
Yeah, I've got a BB gun. You won't be safe unless you have a plastic chair and some string. Oh, you remember that guy? What the heck was his name? The guy in the LA area that took off in the lawn chair with the weather balloons full of helium. Went up to 16,000 feet, got in the final approach path into Los Angeles International. Oh my gosh, what a bozo! But you know what? He he uh, he became very famous because of that. Did a lot of stuff. Too bad he wasn't a YouTuber. You know what his plan was to come down, Kim, was he had a pellet gun. He was going to shoot out balloons to send, and he shot out a couple of balloons, but then one of them rocked his chair, and he dropped the gun. He said he was watching it go and go and go. You know, it fell like 16,000 feet down into some neighborhood. You see, hope it didn't hit anybody.
Well, you know, he was a fool. He should have just yelled Haktua, and then he would have been famous. Well,
A friend of mine had an engine failure in an airplane and it was an ultralightish looking thing, but not an ultralight. Teen.
Hey, look, Dean's got
Phil just filled half our screen. But he had to land. Of course, his engine quit. He had to land. And there's a golf course, and they're landing, and it looked really good. And the passenger, there was a guy out there playing golf, and the passenger leans out and yells, 4! They needed a horn on that ultralight. Anyway, the guy saw him and ran out of the way, and he landed in the golf course. Everybody was okay. I thought there were 20-pound bottles. See, that's what I thought. Kim, how big were those? He says they're 20-pound bottles. You say they're 40-pound bottles. I don't know what the heck they are.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I wonder what Elon and Vivek will say about those agencies asking for more money. Yeah.
Elon will certainly not be profiting in any way by all that money that they're spending on electrical powered drone research.
As soon as I saw whoever he was, head of the FBI or somebody, say, well, we only have $500,000 budget for investigating drones. It's like, I'm like, here we go.
Elon Musk has something to say about everything. Has he said anything about the situation in New Jersey? Elon Musk knows everything about space and drones. Has he said anything about New Jersey? Not a word.
I'm surprised they haven't gone to it.
That's strange, isn't it? I wonder if he has a part in it but doesn't want anybody to know. Sorry.
Canada supplies 60% of import oil.
Sorry, got a little bit upset there for a second. Elon Musk knows about the aliens or the UFOs or whatever.
Talk to our head. Okay. Bruce Copeland says a 25% tariff will raise the price of the U.S. Yeah, I don't know. All this talk about tariffs and everything. You know, it's like half my YouTube is filled up with suggestions about what Trump's gonna do. You know what? I don't ever click on any of it. I can't believe that I get that many suggestions for what Trump's gonna do. You know, wait till he's there. I don't want to hear what a bunch of amateurs think Trump's gonna do. Let's see. Nancy has a lifetime charge code to execute money off his car buyers.
I've heard Trump is going to outlaw electric cars. Bring back coal mines.
Does anybody understand what the president really does? Signs legislation that goes through Congress, you know. And I suppose they can have an ability to steer some of it, but, you know, they're not just like a king. be here. Elon's busy trying to get crash reporting removed from the statistics. Yeah, there you go. All I know is Elon should buy YouTube. No, get control it too much.
Elon Musk is going to put Boeing out of business and buy Stellantis. That would be kind of cool. What if
Yeah, why don't you buy YouTube?
What if Elon Musk bought Stellantis and took over the electric charger production?
Being a president, I heard it's just like eating ice cream. Being president, you got to make everybody think you're in charge, and then you sign legislation, maybe.
Somebody else writes the legislation. Trump just babbles whatever thing he thinks makes him look good. We're all in a lot of trouble, not just because of Trump.
Well, if you haven't figured out, the media is probably 99% of the problem.
At least somebody though is trying to like make some kind of okay, tariffs is probably dumb, but at least somebody's talking about the fact that the economy's a mess. The Democrats are like completely in denial, like, oh, everything's great. Yeah, just keep voting for us for indefinitely. We're not messing with the economy, not at all. Everything's wonderful. Just keep us in here, and we'll just keep stealing you, robbing you blind. I don't like either political.
What I would say about
on both sides.
Yeah, I don't like either side. What I say about politics is, you know what you do when you go vote? Find everybody that's not an incumbent. If it says incumbent, throw them out, and hopefully vote for an independent, like some old lady down the street that raised her kids and they didn't get in trouble.
I don't believe that's gonna.
Well, I think that's where you get real people that really know how to figure things out.
Never get elected.
No, of course they can't get elected.
Yeah,
you got a big noisy
it has to
person
be
that knows how to
somebody who
control.
they can.
Somebody that knows how to control media and things. Yeah.
Somebody who they can control. Somebody.
Let's see. Where else are we here? Can't afford a mortgage on a new vehicle. But yeah, that's it. It's a mortgage. So I figure it's cheaper for me to dump a bunch of money in my old cars. Yeah, well, look where we are. Look what happened when my car got wrecked. I just, there's no way I can afford one of these new, I can't do it. So I bought a 1978 Ford product, which is a pretty decent car.
I mean, we'll be able to maintain it.
And I'll be able to maintain it. It's simple. The worst thing is replacing the heater core is going to be kind of one of those jobs I cuss at. But
that's the worst thing.
I own it. I have the title. The insurance isn't expensive. You know?
It's not like replacing the heater core on a car that's 3 years old is any easier.
It's not like buying a newer car and having to fix something like that. Yeah, I can imagine taking a new Nissan or something, putting a heated core in it.
You'd probably just throw that car away.
I can't even imagine that.
Insurance company probably total it. Heater core. Oh man, that's good. Thousands.
So Mexican Spec says he's taking off. Good night.
Thanks for coming in, Mexican Spec.
Yeah, it's getting late. Getting up there.
Yeah, it's late.
Tim says he gets a big raise in our Social Security soon. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything.
2.5%.
2.5%.
Yeah, I got the paperwork recently.
Oh, you did? Okay, so it's not even keeping up with inflation.
No, it's what was inflation? Like 6%, 7%.
Oh, it's more than that.
They didn't even come close to keeping.
Yeah, there's things they don't cover in inflation anymore. So you just get screwed.
Not even close.
Heater core in Dust Devil says heater core in my Ram was billed as an 8-hour job. Yeah, those old Fairmont some Futuras and all those, like what I have. The ones with AC are 8.8. That's ridiculous. When I take that out of there, I may redesign the whole thing.
I mean, who designs a car that in 8 hours to?
And what do they do? You know what? There's a heater core coming down a conveyor belt, and they start adding shit to it, and the other end of the building, a car comes out.
Yes.
It is terrible.
Exactly.
That is an item that needs to be serviceable, and they're not serviceable anymore.
And you telling me that's not intentional? You telling me for 20 years they didn't know that was a problem, but they continue to do it? Continue to do it.
Well, I don't understand that either. Why a manufacturer would do that? Because they're going to get warranty jobs, and they're going to have to pay for those. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Punish dealerships with the idea. If you were going to bury
it's based off the consumer price index, which tends to include things that probably aren't for people in Social Security. Well, it's worse than that. It's only in the third quarter. It's only the third quarter. It's July, August, September.
And they fudge all the numbers so that all the inflation happens outside.
And food is not in it anymore. So food is not in it anymore. So
yeah, and if you're in California, you get a higher rate because they have.
Oh, and that's the other thing. They're going to do it with different states. Are going to get different amounts because the cost of living in different states. Well, maybe I don't live in California because the cost of living is so high, and I'm on Social Security that I moved to Tennessee. I didn't move here so I could get less Social Security. Jeez. Well, what it comes down to is we're going to have to find some other source of income.
Yep, you'll never retire. We'll never fully retire.
We'll never fully retire. That's right.
Cannot.
They want you to take the car to the dealer. Yeah, but if it's a warranty job, you're not paying for it. The company's paying for it. Your core was a high quality item, guaranteed to outlast the warranty. Yeah, right. When I had my radiator shop, one of them right across the street was a Pontiac Buick GMC dealer. I used to watch cars come in on the auto racks, on the trucks, and they had coolant dripping out of them from the passenger side on the truck. And they'd unload the cars, and within a day or two, those heater cores would be over in my shop, and I'd be fixing them. Brand spanking new heater cores. The customer doesn't even have it yet.
They must have got some kind of discount for buying those cars that need repairs. You know what I mean?
They must have got what?
A discount from the dealer for buying those cars that needed.
Oh, it wasn't every one of them, but when a rack of cars come in, there'd be 1, 2, 3 of them dripping coolant out of them. Well, the Chevy trucks, the ones prior to the one everybody calls a square body, which I think is a square body than the square body ones, they have you take off 2 heater hoses that got connections sticking up like this. Maybe they're out. I don't know. Anyway, you take the little cover off, and the heater core slides out from the engine compartment side. I don't know what the book time was on it.
20-minute job.
It'd take 20 minutes if I was goofing off. It was easy. And full-size Fords were like that up through 1978, I think. Same thing. It was a cover in the engine compartment. You take off the 2 hoses, lift the heater core, or lift the cover off, take the heater core out. There's no reason why they can't do that. Obviously they do it. But to hide the thing underneath the dash where you got to discharge the air and disassemble half the car and pull a windshield or something. What a bunch of shit,
That is fundamentally out of touch with the realities of car maintenance. And there really is, the thing of it is there's no punishment. The person who designs it, they have no feedback loop anymore. They designed a new heater thing. It's better than the heater thing ever was. Yippee-doo. They get paid. If it sucks, they don't lose their job. Or eventually they do lose their job. All the people who were working for Stellantis, they're all laid off now. Do they
Kim.
equate it to the fact that they built garbage? No.
Kim, need your help.
What's up?
Read Dean Stevenson's last comment, 136.
Okay. We'll all stay skinny because we just won't eat. We'll all hang out in the coolest bars. VIP with movie stars. Every good gold digger's gonna wind up there.
What is that? That's a song?
It is a song. It is. And we'll all stay skinny because we just won't eat. We'll hang out in the coolest bars. And
She's a karaoke person.
I can remember the song, but not very well.
She's a karaoke person, and she sings. She can sing well. We got to get together when my son gets back from his trip. Oh, that reminds me. My youngest son is going to be here starting Monday, I think.
Oh, really?
Sunday or Monday. He's going to be here for like a week, and he wants us all to go out to eat. I'll have to get a hold of him. It's too late. I didn't reply. I'll reply to him in the morning or later in the morning. But I assume you want to do that. You want to do that? Because last time you didn't. Oh, you did do it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I think one time I didn't do it because I wasn't feeling well.
One time you didn't do it. Yeah, I want to. Hopefully, I'm feeling good by then. I'm feeling about 95%. Dust Devil says, just wait until you see what I'm fixing on my truck because I can't afford a good used car.
Ooh, Dust Devil? Rockstar by Nickelback. Okay, thank you, Dust Devil. Check out.
Okay, Tavo says, my 97 Aussie Fairmont upmarket Falcon. See, we had Falcons that ended in 1969. And then the Falcon went on to become a whole really cool car, and we never got any of those up here. So, I'm not sure what that is. Aussie Fairmont, upmarket Falcon, was a full dash out, evacuate EC job, replace blend door motor. Yep, same nonsense here. Horrible. Last one of those I did, I said I'd never do another one. Now I got another one. Those stupid blend door actuators.
Really nice flaring tool.
Yeah, we have good flaring tools. Okay, I gotta go away from the chat for a minute. Well, where's that? Look at where the ladder's leading. Kim.
Yeah.
The ladder is blocking about half the toolbox drawers where that thing is likely to be.
Yeah.
Now y'all get to see what I'm looking at. Is it in there? I think it's down toward the bottom. Even at the bottom.
Here. Maybe it's in the back of the bottom where I couldn't see it. This has been a night for digging for tools, I'm telling you.
Does it all get put away though?
Oh, dude.
See that box right there? That I want that. That's got to go down. This is radio stuff.
I thought that was double clear.
There you go. I just saw it.
Found it. Thank God.
See what this is? Those
Oh.
are gold.
Nice.
Gold connectors. See, if you're doing work with antennas and radios, transmitters, that kind of thing, you have all these adapters from one kind of a connector to another, and those are gold. So the connection is really good. And I saw that in that drawer, and I thought I'm going to be looking for that down there at the house when we do the antennas. And I want that where I can get at it. Okay, let's see. I lost my, oh, maybe I caught up. My 86 Chevy truck is fairly easy to get at. My daily driver is an 01 Silverado. You have to take out the dash to get at the heater core. That's ridiculous stuff.
Who's that?
Tim.
Oh.
Dean Stevenson. The Ranger and Explorer changed all that. Like the Fox, all Ford heater cores are inside jobs. That's one thing I don't like about the Fox bodies. There's a couple of things I don't like about Fox bodies. That's one of them. And then isn't the Lincoln, what's the Lincoln Mark 8? I think it's kind of like an updated Fox body. That thing's a nightmare in the back because of the independent suspension where the fuel tank is and all that. That's another one of those things that's not a fun job.
Can you see what I'm doing from there?
Sort of. It's out of focus. Focus! Why is your down there where you're working is completely out of focus? I don't know what is in focus. Let's see here.
Did it help?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, hello, everyone. Oh, Miss One-Eyed Cat's here.
Oh, hey.
Just got here. I was cleaning a little.
It's the middle of the night.
It's the middle of the night. This is a real impromptu live, Wendy. We were up here doing something, and I wanted to check out what I did. Here, I'll show you. From now on, people give us super chats. See, I gotta play with this thing. We go like this. We'll be able to make the Studebaker flash. So we were doing that, and I wanted to see what it looked like on the screen. And I had the screen on, so I think I'll go live. And I just no thumbnail, nothing, just went live. I didn't think anybody'd even come in, but we got people here.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people stop in, say hello, and that's always nice. Hey, did you talk about, are we going to stream on Christmas?
Oh, that's something we want to talk about. Okay, Tuesday night is Christmas Eve, and not this coming Tuesday, but a Tuesday night is Christmas Eve. So I assume we'll just do that. And then Wednesday is Christmas. So, my family's scattered all over the place. Anybody older than me is already gone. I'm the oldest one. And my siblings are all scattered all over the place, so we never see each other on Christmas. And my son is not here. He's not in the country. He's busy with something. So I guess I'll have my youngest son will be here before Christmas. But really, we don't have any family other than Kim and me. So we were thinking about.
Grandkids will be with their mom.
Yeah, grandkids will be with their mom. So we were thinking we might go live on Christmas. I don't know. I want people's opinion on that.
Is anybody else going live on Christmas?
Yeah, what else is going on Christmas on YouTube? Let's see. I've really messed up my chat here. Love the mere 2 cables to do everything on my Valiant. Isn't that nice? You know what? There's a thing on the early Valiants that was a heater control valve that just had a thing that turned like this and a cable hooked to it. It's 1/2 inch inlet and outlet. And I used to use those in the airplanes to run a heater core up in the nose cone of the airplane. And we had vents up there, so air was always coming in. You couldn't shut the air off. I suppose you could work out something to shut the air off. But you reach down here, and I had one of those controls right down under the seat because the engine was in the back, and it would run coolant up there, and you could just vary the temperature of the air coming in on your feet. And it was pretty nice, and it was just a simple part from a Plymouth Valiant. Let's see, Dean Stevenson's XD Falcon with colored tubes to everything. They make me laugh doing the heater core. Easier than an XC Falcon, though. See, and I don't know all the different XCs, XDs, all these. What line are you making, Kim?
Transmission cooler line.
Transmission cooling lines. Oh, yeah, Dean Stevenson already answered that. And again, there was a lot of room back there, of course. She has half of it already. You have half of it already? Oh no, she had some messed up lines that had somebody had tried to weld a hole in one of the lines. What a piece of junk! I'm not gonna put that back in. The only good on that line was the connectors, the B nuts, whatever you call them. Bruce, my daughter put a diesel in her Volkswagen. They had to take the carpet out to get the fuel tank out. Huh. Paul says no real idea on Christmas. The Mighty Car Mods always dropped something feature length that day. Huh. I don't even know.
I do notice a lot of people do feature length stuff Christmas or yeah.
Tim says my kids are in California. My sister's family are in Ohio. Sometimes it's good to be in the middle of the country in Colorado. And see, my brother's in Kansas, and his kids are there. And then my sister's in Northern California, out in the mountains in Northern California, with her 2 kids and grandkids. And her husband passed away a few years ago, so she's sort of alone, but she's with her kids a lot. So that's where she'll be. And she worked a lot of agriculture kind of stuff and hurt her back years ago, and she got so. And her husband had passed away, and she couldn't get out of bed. She was in terrible shape. And over the years, her back got better and better, and she's up and around, and she's able to do some gardening and some things she likes to do. And man, she sounds good on the phone. She didn't sound good on the phone when her back was so bad. But yeah, I think she's doing real well. Let's see here. Duck Devil says, I like making my cooling lines with AN and steel braid.
Yeah, we're on a little bit of a budget to get this together. We'll see how.
That's how I did aircraft, But when I was doing aircraft, and I was spending money.
Somebody else's money, though.
Well, I had my own aircraft, and yeah, I spent, although my own airplanes, I knew how to get by cheap. I'd take all the scrap tubing and bed rails. The bed rails, the V-shaped, like this. I can't get my hands in. So the bed rails are like, why can't I get my, anyway, they're a V. And I'd put all this tubing in there, weld it all together. So anything that wasn't, didn't have to be good, didn't have to be perfect. I'd weld together chromoly tubing and use that. Anything like fuselage longerons and stuff, I'd buy new tubing, but try to keep that to a minimum. I built an airplane in 1980. When was it? Probably 1989. 88 or 89, and I flew that thing had a 1-cylinder engine on it. I flew it from California to Florida and back, and wrote articles in magazines and everything about this trip.
It was a very successful airplane.
And I had total in that airplane, I had $2,700 in it. And today's money, I'd probably have $5,000 in it. But if you put your mind to it, you can build a safe aircraft on this kind of budget.
Well,
yeah, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Same like this car. You can build a really good car for budget, but
that's right.
There's a lot of sweat equity involved in that process.
Oh, it says don't forget to put your fittings on the line before flaring or bending.
Oh, always. I hear you. Did it this time?
Tim says we wrap up dog biscuits for the 2 yellow labs. That's Christmas morning. And when I had kids, it was so much fun. My kids were far enough apart. They were 11 years apart. So, we did a lot of Christmas morning stuff and really had a good time doing all that. Dust Devil says AN stuff is cheap on Amazon. Is that real AN stuff that really screws on, or is it the stuff that looks like a nut that's got a hose clamp in it? Because I've done a lot of real AN stuff. I did a lot of sprint cars that had the inlets on the radiator had 4 AN connectors going to it from an injection manifold.
I mean, it's
So,
not as critical because it's a car, not an airplane, so we could use cheap ones, but
you know, if you do this and you tie the lines down so they aren't all rattling and work hardening and breaking and everything, this will be fine. Shiloh Spitz, good evening or good morning, whatever. Says copper tubing is good for gas line, low pressure oil conveyance, but brass or stainless steel for hydraulic brakes. Oh yeah, you wouldn't use this on brakes.
so this is not
This
copper
is
tubing.
what?
This is like copper coated
Are
tubing.
you sure that's not copper tubing?
Yeah.
Oh, because I bought copper tubing too. So
Yeah, well, I can tell you when I cut it, it's not solid copper.
that's got something. It's something else.
It's some kind
But
of.
this is transmission cooling lines, which is copper will be fine or brass or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna run them so that they. Agree. Hopefully.
Yeah, and for radiator hoses are expensive. Yeah, the giant real AN fittings.
They sure look cool.
AN hose is best though. See, I worked for a guy building airplanes, his airplanes, and he had a hydraulic shop. So that was really cool because he did a lot of fittings for me. Every time I needed something, he crimped all the fittings and everything. But so I know the difference in all of those. What do they call them? Steel braided lines. He used to call them Teflon because the inside is Teflon and the outside is steel braided. So he did a lot of stuff in Teflon. It looked really good. So when I build him airplanes, all his lines in there were what do you call Teflon? They're all steel braided and stuff. Looked really good.
It helped to get to know people, make friends.
Dust Devil says I used Nycop for my brake lines. But isn't that stuff I got?
That might be what this is, yeah.
That stuff I got hanging up there for the brake lines was Nycop.
Well, I think this is the same stuff, just in 5/16 instead of 3/8.
I don't know about that. Okay.
I don't know about that.
Dust Devil says what she's doing will work fine.
Oh yeah.
Tallow says I can't afford copper, just plain old stainless for mine. Isn't stainless sort of expensive? Of course, I don't know. There's all different stainless. We used to do exhaust systems, and man, right away they just come apart. And so no more 304. The 304 stainless just didn't work for a lot of things, and we ended up going like 321 stainless, which is expensive stuff. But you build an exhaust system out of 321 stainless, it's not going to crack or break or come apart. So we did a lot of that. But I couldn't afford that stuff. We got a good view of the roll, Kim. No view of what you're doing. You're all out of focus down there. Tyler says copper here is insanely expensive at the moment. You know, my brother, I'm going to bring up something there. That's a few years ago, not many years ago. My brother is recently retired, but he was a pastor at a church, small church that doesn't have a lot of money, poor section of a big city, basically trying to take care of poor people. And they came in one morning in the summer, and the air conditioning didn't work, and they went out there, and somebody during the night had torn into the air conditioner, ripped it all apart, and stole all the copper tubing out of it.
I mean, that is
from a church.
Lower than low.
Nice people, nice
Lower
neighborhood.
than low.
So after that, they didn't have air conditioning. What is that? I can't. You're so out of focus. All that's focus is that roll of copper tubing or whatever that tubing is.
I'm trying to decide if where to run this line. I think I need to run it beside the wheel pan. I think I need to take the motor.
Isn't that what they did?
I think I need to take the engine mount off.
Originally, it was along there, and then you're gonna have to make some little tabs to hold it. Screw onto the oil pan bolts.
I don't want to take the motor mount off again. think that's what I gotta do.
It's like a friend of mine used to say, why do it right when you can do it twice?
We do it nice because we do it twice. I guess I could just run it around the front of the engine mount. So that
I cut bends very nice too without kinking. Sam Kinison had some great ideas on how to expand church's revenue line. Well, you know,
I'll bet you it was funny because Sam Kinison.
my brother was a highly educated individual that for some reason decided to dedicate his PhD in theology. You know, he could have done something made him money, but instead he decided to dedicate his life to taking care of poor people in a big city that were basically every day of their life was a struggle. And he did that for a long time. And I guess you got to have people like that around sometimes, but he certainly didn't do himself any favors financially. He helped people get out of jail. He helped people pay their bills sometimes. Helped pay them once. He had a fund. I used to donate a little money to it. If somebody couldn't make their heating bill or something, he'd pay it once, and then he'd help them get a job and help them make sure they stayed in their job and made sure they were sober and all these kind of things. And he worked his whole life for that. So I guess he's got to feel good about it. And once you have them laughing, you can open the pocketbook. Yeah. Festival. Did you know Sam Kinison was a fire and brimstone preacher before he went to comedy?
What goes in sand? Nothing. Sam Kinison.
My brother really, I mean, he really helped a lot of people. But he's a year younger than I am. He's got some open heart surgery, a couple of medical problems, trying to go through life. His wife still works. She's an RN. She works. Takes care of his grandkids. Yeah, pocketbook. That's what I thought.
All right. All right.
Yeah, my sister. I don't talk about my family much. My sister was 2 years younger than me, and she got a degree in horticulture, and she was one of the people. Avocado plants. You plant an avocado, and it grows a plant, but it doesn't grow good avocados. There's good root stock, and there's good avocado plants. So what they do is you graft the good avocado plants into the good rootstock. And she worked with that a lot. And she had very good success rate with the grafting, enough that everybody in the central coast of California wanted her to do the grafting. And so she was pretty busy with that stuff. I guess I've told that here before because she had International Scout, and that was her car to get around out in the avocado fields. So, and then later, she married a guy that they both liked living out in the middle of nowhere. And they lived in Montana, somewhere in the mountains, and built a house and sold that. And then they moved to Northern California and did the same thing again. They lived in Montana, and I think they built the house. It took them their kids growing up, 2 kids growing up, that amount of time to build that house. And they used to do little starter trees and little stuff they sold in nurseries. And they lived on that. And she goes, the most money they ever made is when they sold their house. So they moved to Northern California in the mountains, and they started building another house. And then the kids were growing up. So that's kind of what she did, horticulture person. grew a lot of little starter pine trees and stuff, and sold them to nurseries, and they had a business going with that. Tim, wonder what ever happened to Gallagher and the watermelons. Oh man, that's been a while, hasn't it?
I mean, I think it probably maybe got old.
This is one I get. Says I help a lot of people. I help a lot of people out. But when you get backstabbed, I'm done. Yep, I've done it too. I've helped people to the point of running myself into the ground, and then they don't come through. They just want more, and I'm real disappointed. There's a couple of people I helped did well, and or at least they got on their own 2 feet and were able to support themselves. There's a couple of people I've helped. I'm so disappointed in them. Yeah, the Sledge-O-Matic. Yeah, I remember people would go to see Gallagher, and they take plastic with him and hold the plastic up because they knew he was going to smash a watermelon right in front of him. Watermelon's going to fly all over the audience. When he first started doing that, it was hilarious, but then he did it enough that it was, yeah, how many times are you going to watch that?
A lot of times. All of the times.
I'm looking at stuff in the camera that I. Oh, you're moving.
Yeah, I'm going to start the next line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember the Sledge-O-Matic. Well, you know what led up to that was the Veg-O-Matic, which is a stupid commercial. They had this thing, and it would chop and slice and cut and dice and do all this stuff, you know. And those commercials were on TV all day, every day. And then along comes the Sledge-O-Matic. So that made it funny. The general outburst comedy had a moment. Yeah, I guess. Gallagher, you remember what his hair looked like? It was kind of like he was like a little bit bald, but he still had some hair, and it was all ratty looking. And he said, like, comb his hair. He goes, what, parallel hair? Big deal, parallel hair. He goes, it's the tangles that holds it in. Tim says, I used to love going to small concerts to see and hear musicians, but those are out of my budget now. Everything's out of my budget. You know, Kim and I went out to eat when we went to Texas because that's what we had to do, you know. But other than that, we don't go out to eat. We don't go out and do anything.
We could do more.
There's something you go out and do, but you're out helping some people. And what do? I want to go. I keep saying I want to go do this, but they made some changes in the organization. So their stupid meetings are on Tuesday nights, so the same night that we do our live. So that's. But I want to do some stuff with the amateur radio, but I haven't taken the test. I need to go to a couple of those meetings, and there's conflict. But we'll see how they don't have any meetings scheduled into the new year, so let's see what they do there. Tavo, I go out to work. Oh, I see. I thought you were going out to work now. No, I think you go out to work. Oh, I've done so much of that. And right now I've got a former employer want me to go to work, and I'm like,
Well, they haven't made up their freaking mind.
Well, no, I've directly been asked to go out to Arizona and work on the drones. And I'm like, to what, like for a week or to train some new people, or, well, we need somebody out here to do some tech work. And I'm like, I'm not going to go out there just open-ended, stay there forever. And I got other things to do.
Yes, you do.
How hard is it to get your ham radio license? Well, right now, the lowest level license you can get, there used to be one called the novice license. The lowest level license is called the technician class license. And you just get online and study it, then go in and there's some stuff you got to do with the FCC. You got to get a file for a number from them. Once you have that number, you can go take the test. That number identifies you with the FCC. Yeah, you got to tell the government who you are. And I figure by now they know who I am anyway. And then take the test. It's a rather limited license, but you can do a lot of stuff. You don't need the Morse code anymore. You don't need the Morse code for any of the licenses. And currently, there's a technician's license, and then a general class license, and then an amateur extra. Amateur extra is a pretty involved test, but then you get all the privileges. So I want to at least get the technician class license, if for no other reason, just to prove to myself that I can pass the thing. And if I just want to have fun with radio, I can do a CB radio. CB radio is all the cheaters. You don't even have to cheat. You can operate a CB legally with 4 watts of power and on sideband 12 watts of power, and you can talk all over the place if you get the conditions right. And if you have decent equipment, and it doesn't have to be expensive, decent equipment. Just make sure your antenna match, and you learn. Yeah, dust devil. This is what you do. There's a YouTube channel called Ham Radio Crash Course. It's making big noises.
Sorry.
Ham Radio.
Sorry.
Okay, tell me when you're going to stop. She's got the camera on my back, and she's over there working. Ham Radio Crash Course, HRCC. But you look it up on YouTube, Ham Radio Crash Course. That guy does videos, all kinds of stuff. But he also has a course for every one of the licenses. So you can go in there and take his, and it doesn't cost you anything. He just does it for free. Ham Radio Crash Course, technician license. And he goes over all the possible questions. And it's a multiple choice test. So basically he teaches you the test, but you got to understand what's going on to learn the test. So, and he explains everything. He's a pretty good guy. So if you're really interested, Ham Radio Crash Course. Thought we would splurge the other night and go to a nice restaurant for our anniversary. We went where we had our wedding reception dinner. Great dinner. Well, that's good. That's Tim. Said he did that. Dust Devil, I'm getting closer and closer to being a prepper. Oh, I see.
Yeah, well.
There's also another radio that a lot of people are into is the, what are those ones with the repeaters? The UHF radios. I can't think what they are. Yeah, I don't know. I don't especially like them because I want to be doing the crazy stuff. But I'll think of it. But anyway, there's some other radios too that you can use, but you can't talk around the world with them. This is one I Cabby and Don took our 3 granddaughters out to dinner for their birthday last weekend. Cost us $123.
Yeah. Bad about that.
You know what I like when my youngest son takes us out? He always picks up the tab. I'll go to reach for it. He goes, no. He goes, you bought me dinner enough times. And I'm thinking, yeah, like ever since you were a little kid. And he goes, nope, you bought me a dinner for enough times. Well, he's got a really good job, He's he writes code for a computer code. Sits there all day writing code and makes good money, and he takes us out to dinner. Pretty nice. My oldest son, we rarely go out to dinner, but he has these big cookouts at his house. And, man, I mean, he's quite the chef. So we usually take something with us when we go over there. So we used to have to get a license for simple 27 megahertz. I ducked and dodged for years, then gave in, did the simple test, paid the huge fees. 8 months later, they dropped the need for it. Yeah, same thing here. 27 megahertz, which is what they call CB here, or they still do, citizens band. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you had to have a license. And then I ducked it for a long time. There's so many people, FCC didn't have any teeth. They couldn't get anybody. So they just gave up on it. So you don't need a license anymore. So I almost miss it that I didn't get my call letters. Dust Devil, I'm going to put a CB in my van. You know, I'm glad to hear that because I really want to put a CB in my new little Ford car.
Yeah, we got this one over here that Dr. Art.
Oh yeah, Dr. Art gave us a CB, and then I got another one that came out of the Mazda. But when the Mazda crashed, it ripped the antenna right off the hard way. So I'm going to have to get an antenna. I kind of want to get a set of co-phased whips, the ones that go like this, but not real long ones, because they're long antennas are a pain in the ass. You get wires and trees, bridges. Oh, they work well. Tim says the man who recognized us and came over and gave us our dinner on him. Wow.
Oh,
We got married on 12/12/12. And the other night was our 12th anniversary. That is really cool. Saved us $100. I left them a nice tip. Very nice service. Sort of unusual nowadays. That's something I do. If we go out to eat and somebody gives us good service, I tip them well.
Oh,
Always. Oh. What was that? There was a restaurant. Don't name the restaurant. But we ate at it the first year No Name Nationals. Or maybe the second year No Name Nationals. Second year No Name Nationals. We ate there. The restaurant was terrible. But the service was good. The woman did her best to work with their lousy menu and all the problems she had trying to get us food. I left her a good tip,
I
but
don't remember where you mean.
we walked to it.
We walked to it from the hotel. Oh, yeah.
The woman she did her best.
Lady.
She did her best.
I feel bad for her.
But the restaurant
Had to work there.
it was terrible. And you go and look at the reviews of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't think they have one good review. I felt bad for her.
Like,
Oh, says, guess I better get to bed. My nap earlier semi-backfired, but got to be up tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Okay. Good night, all.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.
What is Dean Stevenson doing? What with a upside down mark to the fourth power? Was it worth it? Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. I don't know. Going to mount with coast mirrors on the van. I want to put a couple of 3-foot fire sticks on the mirrors. Think about what you're using for a ground plane. I mean, that'll work. But let's say you have a 102-inch whip right in the center of a van roof. That's going to have a pretty much omnidirectional. It's going to transmit equally all around the van because your ground plane is going to be kind of equal. Might be a little bit better off front and back, but it's going to be pretty equal. I used to see people put one whip on the back of a van down by the bumper. Well, they're blocking half the whip to begin with, and then it's going to give a real weird oval beam off of it. The co-phased whips on mirrors work quite well, except it'll probably work better off the back than off the front. Unless what vehicle are you putting that on? He said a van. Yeah, it'll probably be more directional off the back. For the way it works, I want a single whip right in the center of the roof of my car, but that just looks so ugly, and I don't want to run into stuff. So what I found years ago was using a co-phased, like you say, the co-phased antennas on either side. of the roof, it's going to be off the front and the back pretty much equally on a two-door car. They're kind of ugly on a car. Now, back in the day, in the 70s, everybody had CB radios, and it looked cool. But now it kind of looks goofy. Was that the restaurant No Name National? That was good. Right. No, not that one.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
No, this was one right beside our hotel.
This was near where we stayed, and we were hungry, and it was late at night, so we walked over there, and it was
a bad choice.
not good.
They were.
It was not a good place.
I'm struggling.
And there were other places nearby we walked to that were really good. I went and walked and got you a salad the next night, and you were happy with that. See, code is the mother lode. Yeah, the place at the Throwed Rolls, that's
yeah, they're great.
Lambert's. Lambert's is one of my favorite restaurants in the whole world.
No problems with Lambert's. I did notice the portions got smaller. Did you notice that between the first and the second year?
Did they? The portions got smaller? Well, it wouldn't matter. They're still too big.
They were too big.
They're still too big.
But the prices didn't change.
Kim got chicken. Kim got chicken the first year, and it's big.
It was a whole chicken.
And somebody said, who was it? I think it was.
Was it Rick from RC Industries, maybe?
Somebody said, what is that, Kim? It looks like a whole chicken. And Kim looked at it. She goes, well, I don't think it has any wings on it. But other than that, it was a whole chicken. And there was all the other stuff you get. And all the walk-arounds, the pass-arounds, as they call it. They just keep filling your plate, you know. The place is amazing. That place is amazing.
Yeah.
Don looked at the bill. Don looked at the bill and said, that's why we don't go out to eat. Yeah. Yeah, we had a couple of the, well, when we went to get the car, I just splurged, got hotel rooms, went out to eat, did whatever we had to do. Yeah, it's just what we did.
You're dragging me all the way to Texas. I want to sleep someplace decent. Blame me. Even though I said I'd sleep in the van.
Deer stalking is probably cheaper, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. Yeah, it's something. I'm not a hunter at all. I'm not opposed to it. It's just down my desire list far enough that I never get around to it, you know.
Now, the hardest part will be able to get the shift linkage down
Okay,
through there.
that's it. Couldn't remember the name. Yeah, that's it. It's Lambert. Dean says NI2. 4 watts, Buff. Yeah, 4 watts on AM. 12 watts single sideband is legal. Then you get your license, you know, like an amateur license. There's frequencies you can run 1,500 watts legally. Whoa! That'll make the electric meter turn. But you can talk all over the world pretty easy with 100 watts. I mean, you know, I've got a radio right now that's 80 watts. And as soon as I get my license, I can use it. Dust Devil says, I'm going full 70s boogie van, going to be purple cars. Oh, you know, I used to build vans. It was so much fun. I didn't build a lot of them. I had friends that built a lot of vans. I built a few of them. 4 people, 4 myself. And you know, you put a wall in the back, some kind of a cool looking wall, and the bed's behind there, and then everything else is in front, and then you've got what you want to do up front. You want a bar, or you want an entertainment center, or what do you want up front, you know? Yeah, I mean, that's in the middle, I should say. And then up front, you know, there's the CB radio hanging up there and all the other stuff. It's pretty cool.
That's what we should do this year is build your van instead of mine.
That's what I should do with my van. I should take my van and take all the garbage out of it and build a...
Right now your van is a shed.
Build it as a 70s van.
Build it as a modern van. Update the genre.
Oh, well, yeah, but I still like the way the interiors work, because you got a bedroom in the back, and then you got the middle, and yeah.
How much we will save on hotel? Although
yeah, then you're required to sleep in it, and then you gotta. Yeah, I guess you go to truck stops get showers. You know. Tim says we used to do dinner and a movie most weekends. Haven't been to a movie in a few years now. Can't afford the popcorn and soda here. I don't do anything like that. Can't afford anything. Do go out to eat occasionally, and we did splurge on the trip to Texas, and I'm glad we did. We made a vacation out of it, and
That was good.
yeah, it's good. I was going to make a big heart-shaped entrance to the bed. Yeah, that was a thing that people did then. 41st Airborne. 41st Airborne. 41st Airborne. What is 41st Airborne? Well, here is the 101st Airborne. 41st Airborne. The yeah, I used to do whatever the entrance was, and then you wrap foam and something around there and staple it all down so it had a nice cushy entrance around. And I just remember doing all that stuff. Sometimes I do it with shag, but that was tough to do. Or I do it with the entrance to the wall to the back bedroom. I'd usually do that with vinyl, like a real soft, supple vinyl that felt like leather, and wrap that around and do that. And yeah, when I was in the Air Force Reserves, I used to go to the base, and there was a place where you could park, and I just lived in the van for the weekend. Tim says Tim from 318 will run, even ran a van at No Name Nationals. Did he run just Mopar Joe? I'm not sure. There were vans there. I mean, Kim ran her van the first year. You know what he did to her van? Kim, I'm tired of having my back on the. You're down there. You don't want the camera down there.
Okay. Yeah, you can just put it on the other screen.
Oh, I can just take the screen off. You're right. Just get rid of the cat. Cat gone. Oh. Yeah. What was I saying?
The van.
Yeah, Kim's van, is geared pretty high. So she brought these little tiny wheels and tires, and we swapped the wheels and tires out. So basically lowered the gear ratio, and she was trying to do burnouts. She won the burnout contest with the monkey bike, but then she could hardly get the van to burn a tire. And then and then she ran the van in the race. So she raced it, No Name Nationals. I can't believe we've been to 3 years of that already. Wow. 3 years. Coming up on the 4th year.
Well, not coming up on, but.
Well, you look at John's numbers and.
Yeah, John's already got his numbers up.
That's the next thing I have to do, start printing up numbers.
Numbers.
Well, I'm going to print them up for first warm day that's coming up, which will be the end of our standard time. Go to daylight time. What is that? Is that a master cylinder?
This is
oh no, that's part of
the exhaust, and this is the kick down linkage and throttle cable for the 4 and
automatic. What kind of van do I have? I have a 2004 Ford E250. So it's a geez, something biting me? I hope not.
She's been sitting. Still waiting.
So it's a 3/4 ton van.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, which doesn't really look good, but it sure has room in it.
Butt, man. And
then Kim has the same thing, except what year is hers?
Mine's a 99.
Okay, hers is a 99 E150. And somebody cut some holes and put some windows in it.
Yeah, it's converted.
So they sort of converted it, but it's a both vans right now are cargo vans. We use them for trucks, So what I need to do is take some of the stuff out of my van because it's You know, vans are, they become a storage area. Although there isn't that much in there. There's a few totes and probably some antennas or
There's
something.
a 318 poly in here.
Oh, yeah, there's a 318. There's a perfectly clean, nice, complete, all hard 318 poly in there. So I got to get that out of there. Yeah, see, I need room for that in
You
here.
gotta be building that 318 poly.
Yeah, what am I going to put a 318 poly in? My Ford? No. That's the wrong engine for that car. Man, I had a friend that died out in Arizona. And sad deal, because he had a car there that he told his friends out there he was building it for me, but I didn't know that, and he was going to give it to me. So it was a 65 Plymouth Fury 3 wagon. Had a 318 in it, and somebody had left the hood open with no carburetor on it, and the engine got full of water and mud and everything. So he was going to put an engine in it and give it to me, but I didn't know that. Well, he got killed in a car accident. Not his fault. Truck driver fell asleep and took out some cars. So his father was there and some other people were there, and they were going to give me that wagon. Well, I was working full time in Maryland while I drove out there for the funeral, and I just had no way to move that wagon. And they also had a 69, he had a 69 Plymouth Satellite that they were going to give away to some girl that he knew. And she also had a 69 Satellite, so they were just going to give it to her as an extra. And he had a 64 Falcon, Ford, American Ford Falcon. And he had a Lincoln Mark 7 that he's going to take all the running gear and put it in the Falcon. That didn't get done. What else? I don't know. There was a Dodge pickup there. It's a bunch of vehicles anyway. So I could have had a couple of those cars, but I had no way to move them. Oh, and he just bought a compressor. Big, tall, like old gas station compressor, but brand new. They were going to give that to me. I had no way to move any of this stuff. And I had to get back to work, and I got back to work. Well, months later, I get a hold of them and go, hey, I think I can move this stuff. Yeah, too late. Already they gave it all away, sold it, whatever.
That's a really sad story. I'm so sorry.
So that station wagon is kind of what I want for my 318 Poly. It's like a C-body mid-60s wagon, that would have been perfect. And that, it was an Arizona car. There wasn't a spot of rust anywhere on it. In fact, the interior, you could have cleaned the interior and run it the way it was. But
there's always next year.
But either a Dodge, like a Monaco, or a Plymouth Fury, something like that for the 318 Poly, that'd be a nice vehicle. Or one of my favorites, 63 Plymouth, but those things are they're getting hard to find. Like Mexican Specs got a couple of them, but they're getting really hard to find.
I'm gonna make grinding noise for a moment.
Grinding noise. Okay, let's see here. I still like Blake's video when he sat in the back of the Dirty Hippies car during the burnout. Kim's hammering now.
I'm struggling.
Could all of you hear the grinding and the hammering? Says she got it. Tala says, mine's a 2008 Ford T250. I do not know what that is. 1.5 ton payload. Does that look kind of like our new Ford Transits? Like,
Wait, what year?
it's I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. It's Australian. It's an '08 Ford T250, 1.5 ton payload van. Dostell says mine is a '76 Dodge Big Block. Oh, that's cool. Dostell, it has a 400. That's why I think it'll be good for towing. And the 400, you put a 440 crank in it, you got a big engine. I got a friend in Arizona that's got a 400 in a, what is that in? Barracuda or Challenger? It's in a Challenger with a 440 crank, and it's bored over some, I don't know how many cubic inches, crazy. 400, huge engine. Tossed me the keys one day, goes, take it for a ride. I go, no, I don't drive other people's cars. I borrowed an airplane one time and ended up having to rebuild the whole airplane because it was in a hangar that fell in. Not my fault, but I had it. Yeah, 400 is pretty cool. Tallow 318 Polly's natural home is in a Valiant Ute. Oh, no kidding. Zach Kohler, a BV8 400 with a 440 crank, needs special pistons and rods. Yeah, this guy built a Challenger, and he had a white Challenger he used as a parts car. When he got done, he sold the parts car, what was left of the car that he picked all the parts off. Years later, he went and bought the parts car and bought all used parts and built that 400 with the 440 crank and built a white Challenger. So it's kind of funny. He's got two Challengers. He's got a yellow one and he's got a white one that was his parts car 10 years earlier, you know. Dust Devil, they made a Valiant Ute? Yes. I mean, Tavo drives it. Tavo's got a light blue Valiant Ute. Go into Tavo's channel and check it out. He's got a Valiant Ute, and he sent me a lot of dimensions and pictures and everything. And
Tell him about how close it resembles the Valiant we have.
Well, and I have a 4-door Valiant, and the dimensions are right there, and I've got a pickup bed floor, and you know.
We've been slowly collecting parts and ambition.
And then Tavo brings that up that they 318 Poly would fit in that Ute, and I could make that into a Ute and put the 318 Poly in it. Oh, would that be a nice car, Kim?
That would be something special. I think it would be worth doing.
Oh, yes, Buff. It's an earlier model Transit. Okay, that makes sense. Because that's what I thought. I thought those vehicles were around for quite a while before we got them in the U.S. because we still had the old-fashioned body on frame, sit up real high looking Econoline vans, which I don't mind, but you know they really were kind of outdated. This is one I got, and I all got to get to bed and get something to eat.
Oh, thanks for sticking around so late. Yeah,
I think
we're gonna not be much too longer.
She's got to work tomorrow.
Oh,
wow.
Jeez. Well, she works the late shift, second
Sunday.
Shift.
Okay, good night. Take care. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh.
Dust Devil, great. Now I have to own a Valiant Ute before I die. You know what? You know, Dust Devil, here's what's really cool about the Valiant Ute. Just picture a Ford Ranchero or a Chevrolet El Camino. They had long doors like the 2-door cars did, and it looks right, you know. But the Valiant Utes use the short doors like the 4-doors. They don't use the long doors, and that way they have a longer bed, and it doesn't look too bad. But that's how they were originally. So, you know, 4-door Valiants are pretty easy to come by compared to the 2-door Valiants.
Yes, you can make a clone. You can make it look a lot like that from a 4-door.
And you can use a 4-door Dart, like 67 through 9, or a 4-door Valiant up through, 72 or something. And, you know, start cutting.
Boy, this was slow.
You're just going to have to beat me to it. Of course, we got too many projects going.
I mean, if you really, really want to do it, you can make us a, cash offer on that car.
And Dust Devil says, How do I get one shipped over here? Where's that tool you were just using?
What tool is that?
You're just making all that racket.
Oh, the grinder. Oh, is that how he gets one shipped
I was
over
going to
here?
show you how to get one shipped over here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put the.
Hey, you could show.
I'm going to put the other. Oh, the camera's off.
This is how you get one over
This
here.
is how you get one shipped over here. You get a pickup bed off some old dumpy pickup.
We got a Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger, any of those small trucks.
Yep, mini
And
truck.
you just cut the floor out of it, and you make it fit, and then you gotta get some sheet metal, make the sides inside, and Tavo will supply you with all the dimensions. They're pretty simple.
You would think, oh, that's janky. I would want it to be much nicer than that. But if you actually look at pictures of how they put it together, it really was just the car.
The hardest thing is the tube for the fuel filler tube on a Valiant.
The hardest thing is the fuel filler
goes
tube.
like this from the side of the car through the trunk and into the top of the fuel tank. The one on the Ute goes like this. It goes around where the trunk is, where the bed is. So you'd have to make a tube or have a tube go through the middle of your pickup bed.
I want a real one. We saw one on not Bring a Trailer. It was like on
So was it an
one of those
Aussie
auction
thing only?
things. It is.
Yes,
an
it
Aussie
is.
only thing.
Just go online, look up Australia Valiant Ute, and there's all different ones. They made them for years and years and years and years. And one time, Tavo was out at a car show doing a live show with his phone or something. It was kind of not the best looking video, but it was video, and he was walking around showing all the Valiants and the Utes and everything from the 60s and early 70s, and it was pretty cool. Zach Kohler says, yes. How do you make that yes like that? How does he do that?
He's just really, really much cooler than us.
He's cooler than us.
Yeah.
Because I see somebody else do that.
What is that?
There's a noise over there.
Oh, that's a tree rubbing against the garage.
A tree rubbing.
It's real windy outside tonight. Windy.
Dust devils. I'm looking at them now. I'm really digging the 73. And you notice the front doors are short, like a 4-door. It uses a 4-door door, so it's easy to make. You don't have to go get the expensive doors from somebody's 2-door project. Tavo Buff. I bought a whole rusty shell for the roof on my project. There's a fuel filler neck I guess I could spare. You have one of those fuel filler necks, the one that goes like this? Because I was looking on all the used places in Australia, and they were all $100 plus shipping from Australia. Ouch. Oh, man, if you had that. Oh, find out what the shipping is before you do it. I'll pay the shipping if I can afford it.
All right, whatever.
Rich.
If you get that, we have to do it then.
Oh, then I'm committed.
You're committed. We'll skip the aluminum car this year.
No, I want to do the aluminum car too. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, we could just cut apart a Valiant instead. I mean, the Valiant runs. Rich, how you doing? I was going to say good evening, but it's pretty much good morning now. You can get anything shipped all over the world. All you have to do is find a big local exporter. Well, my next to my last job working with the military was I ran a logistics hub that was worldwide. So, yeah, FedEx. I don't usually say how good something is, but FedEx would take anything anywhere, including airplanes packed in boxes. Just amazing service. Halfway around the world. They couldn't quite do it overnight, but they do it in a day and a half. They never lost anything, never broke anything. All the years I did that, it's what a bunch, Yeah, I could easily get $100 on Marketplace for it. Yeah, that's what I thought there, $100. That's what I was looking at, $100. I don't know. I could probably go to a exhaust place. Do you think any exhaust shops anymore have tubing vendors? or just weld one up or something.
We could probably fabricate something. I don't think we have to ship stuff from halfway around the world. If we were trying to make it, if we were like on par to make it like a very, very accurate like representation, then maybe. But I think we can just tuck some stuff up underneath the car. We'll make it work.
Rich shipped I
Fuel
shipped a
cell.
large project in containers to Vietnam through an exporter. And most of my experience was Iraq and Afghanistan, but I shipped stuff all over the place. So I kind of tuned into that a little bit. And then a friend of mine from South Dakota that I knew when I was a kid, he has a business. That's all he does is big stuff, big shipments all over the place. I could just get a hold of him. Or, I mean, it's a small item. It's not that hard. Just come in and, like Mexican Spec sends me stuff, and got to pay if there's duty, you got to pay the duty on it.
Exactly. It'll be underneath the car
Fabricated
where you
one,
can't see.
fine. It'll be hidden behind the side panel. That's right.
Yeah, and probably the factory one won't fit anyways because we're not going to be. We might not conform exactly
right,
to the
it might not
factory.
conform. Yeah.
We might end up doing a bunch of fabrication after paying a bunch of money for shipping, and it's probably better to just make one that works.
And then I could have it just go through the middle of the pickup bed.
The early El Caminos had front doors that like that. Yeah, the early ones.
They did? No, they didn't.
The early ones, maybe.
Early El Caminos are 59s and 60s. Well, they weren't four-door doors, were they? They had a frame door. They might have been a weird door. Ooh, I'm not sure. You're here. You worry about your hair after you lay it on the floor. I was laying
on the floor. It's probably dirty. I have to figure out. I have to get an exhaust coupling. You think we can remember to go to the hardware store and get one of those tomorrow?
Hardware store?
Well,
you mean you're talking about one of those things where it's got two sides that are opened up and you slide it in together?
Yeah.
I think there's one down here, isn't there?
It's not the right size. I got the exhaust over there. I got to take it to the store with us and find one that fits.
I thought there was one of those things sitting on the floor right here.
They do, but it's not the right size.
That's wrong.
It's like huge. It's like 2.
You know what it is? It's almost 3 a.m.
I know.
And we got to do some shorts yet.
Oh, we still have to do shorts?
Rich says, I have a friend in Australia. I can ask him procedure if he knows anyone local. Yeah, but we probably won't do it.
Yeah,
that's $100 part for a Tavo, and then a big hassle sending it here.
Tavo, sell it on Marketplace, get your money, and we will fabricate what we need over here on this side of the planet.
Ask Dean; he may know the procedure.
He probably does.
Is Dean a shipping person? Our Falcon Utes had a 4-door front doors from 61 through 71. Then 72 to 78 used the big hardtop doors. Then back to sedan doors again after that. Holden Utes always used sedan doors. Oh, okay. You know what, Kim? I think we need to end it here.
That's why I'm sitting down. I'm done working. Thank you for being here, Tim.
We're going to call it a night, too.
Yeah, we're actually going to close it up for everybody, guys.
So
thank you to everyone who stuck around extra late.
You have the control.
To have a good time with us. We're making progress on the car. It feels good to see it coming together. We're going to try and have it done by the end of the year.
Did you get one?
Maybe Christmas?
Did you get one line in or 2 of them in? Or what'd you do?
I got the 2 lines in. Look, they're sticking out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Got two
they're not,
transmission cooling
They're
lines.
just like very rough. Good night, Rich. All right, so we will be back. What day will we be back? It's going to be Sunday. We're not going to stream tomorrow or Monday, are we?
I don't know.
We'll be back Tuesday night.
We never know.
Sure.
Tuesday night for sure, 7 Central.
We'll be in the studio at 7.
1967.
1967. So if you have pictures of something that you love from 1967 that's automotive or automotive adjacent, make sure you have those pictures ready at least to send to buckdelcampo@gmail.com. We'll talk about them.
And of course your own vehicles too. So
yeah,
and we're not gonna restrict it to 1967. It's just that's something that we put out. Like, yeah, we can talk about 67 cars.
All right, that's the end of it. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.
7:15